requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Put a lock on another top 10 evening across St. Louis. Clear skies dropping through the 70s. Comfortable humidity. How about 54 for the overnight low? On Tuesday, lots of sunshine. Another great day. Start to finish, 77. Tuesday night, clear skies, 54. Wednesday, sunny and 79. Thursday, partly sunny. Maybe a spot shower. Tough to find. 81 on Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Don't melt in the heat. If your AC unit isn't working, Air Comfort Service can get you back in the comfort zone fast with an AC service call for only $99. To get your AC serviced, visit aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I would say to the mayor of all these Democrat cities, like Chicago, what you are doing to your own citizens is evil. Subjecting your own citizens to this constant bloodbath and then rejoicing in it is evil. And you should praise God every single day that President Trump is in the White House.
So you got Stephen Miller there doing a Stephen Miller thing and taking it straight to the people who can make a decision to actually secure safety, law, and order in the communities right now that are plagued by crime, that have been overridden by crime, in many cases for decades, maybe longer. And the president, speaking from the cabinet meeting, which we were just kind of talking about off air, that went about 45 minutes long. The president introduced the cabinet meeting for 45 minutes. And then like right at noon, he's like, all right, who would like to start? So that's what's taking place right now. We'll get clips from that as they are released if there's some sort of news break. But it's a lot of it is what we've heard already. We hear that, President Trump is 7 months into his presidency. He's got a second term greatest hits album already. And he's spot on with all of them. It's a full album. It's not just if you were to release this as an album of accomplishments, there are enough cuts here that stand on their own that it would be a must-buy.
Yeah, the trouble with making news as fast as he does is you are surprised when a day goes by that there's not something major happening. And he's sort of saying the accomplishments and going through the things, but you're like, okay, but I've heard that yesterday. Oh, like we need something every day.
But if, with the agenda-driven media on the left, they're just not able to get a cohesive oppositional message out the way they were before. And since Donald Trump avails himself to the media so much, if they want to come out and say something directly towards Donald Trump, especially when it's untrue, I mean, it could be critical and he can say, like, I'll take this point and counter with that point. He can do that. But if it's untrue, he's within a camera or a microphone at any given moment. He will go to them and correct the record. And every time he does that, and the leftist media is proven wrong again, then they look even more foolish. It's not like people are watching them anyway. They're having to shift. They're having to make adjustments. Of course, they're firing people, laying people off because the ratings aren't there. They're not bringing in the revenue. Donald Trump is a one-man army to push back against fake news. He doesn't really even talk negatively about the media anymore because he is the media. It's impressive to see. So the cabinet meeting is happening right now. Where's the clip here from Joe Scarborough? Did you send that one? Is that one on here? I want to play that.
It's cut 4.
Cut 4. Okay, I'm going to cue that up. let's talk a little bit about Chicago, because Chicago is kind of the crux of President Trump's ire. Now, Chicago is not the only place in the union here that needs the assistance of what Donald Trump has to offer, the injection of law and order and stability, so that you can live your life in these beautiful American cities that we have. It's just people just have adjusted the way they work, the way they live, the way they tour, the way they travel. We've all made those adjustments. We're here in St. Louis. You know what it's like. You will go to a Cardinals game, maybe if the circumstances shape themselves to be right. But every time I hear people talking about going downtown to the Cardinals game, it's always kind of predicated with some sort of like, I don't know, I don't feel comfortable parking and walking. And I do it. I go to Cardinals games and I park over, honestly, a block and a half away from where I got carjacked at 4:30 in the afternoon. Maybe I have the mindset now that if you can get carjacked in the middle of the day right after a Cardinals game has got let out, then I don't know that it really matters. Like, if I want to go see a Cardinals game, I'm going to go see a Cardinals game, and I just risk it. That's outrageous.
Yeah, but it's a self-perpetuating cycle, too, because the less people go, the less safe you feel because there's less people around, the less energetic it feels, the less exciting it is.
Well, you're just going in and you're taking a risk, and you know that you're taking a risk. And I don't want to get into the merits of what you're going there to see and the Cardinals and everything. If the Cardinals were firing on all cylinders and setting a streak and wins type of a team once again, maybe that would be a different story. But people still prepare and people still think about that. They still guard themselves. I was in Cleveland to watch a Guardians game, and it didn't feel that way. But Cleveland's not safe. Like, I don't think of Cleveland as the place that is like, oh, let's go to Cleveland because you can walk around any time of day and be safe there.
You're not in D.C. right now, but you've been to D.C. obviously this year. The perception, and that matters too. The perception of D.C. right now is that it's fine. You can do whatever you want and you're going to be safe. Does that change? Like, is that something that would change you wanting to go to a baseball
I'm not
game?
walking around as a female. I'm not. I was going to say as a young female. I don't want to say a bad word right now.
No, go ahead.
No, I can't. It's not true.
We'd have a little fun with that.
I wish I were younger. I'm not. I don't know that it really matters. I think you're prey if you're younger. I think you're prey if you're older. If you're middle-aged, you're probably distracted. I certainly know what that's like. I'm a head on my swivel type of girl. I'm very alert and very aware. I understand how to survey my surroundings. I get weirdos who message me things, so I understand, too, what it's like to kind of feel like you're under threat. I would not put myself in any of these places alone. I just wouldn't go out late at night alone. But when I was going through D.C. in April, I was there by myself the whole time. I felt uneasy going to my hotel room by myself. I will, for instance, I did this a couple times in the hotel I was in. If somebody followed me into the elevator and I had already pushed the button, I would not get off at that floor. I would not get off at a different floor. I would let them push the button and let them get off of the elevator after me, and then I would push a button again to go to a different floor. Because I don't want them to know what floor I'm on. I don't want them to follow me. Like, if they follow me out of the elevator, I don't know if you think about these things, but I do think about these things. I was by myself. Like, what was it? If somebody wanted to attack me, what was I gonna do?
Yeah. I don't necessarily think about those things. I'm a big, strong guy.
Uh-huh. Most big, strong guys always tell people that.
I don't need to
on
an elevator.
Words.
I will tell people on an elevator, but I don't need to.
Should these cities across the country open the door, open their arms wide and say, President Trump, please help us? And should President Trump wait for that to happen?
Cities should have done that in 2017. They're way behind on this. This people of your city, of any city, are desperate for safety, desperate for it. So this is a not just a brilliant campaign strategy. This is a basic human need that's being fulfilled.
That's not the question. Should President Trump wait until he's asked? Do the people of Chicago, who have a president of the United States, who has at his fingertips the ability to make them safer in Chicago, he is the president for everybody, whether Chicago is or is not MAGA country, should the president wait to be asked before he helps those people? Because, while President Trump is their president, and some of them may have voted for him, many of them did not, they did vote for Brandon Johnson. They did vote for Governor Pritzker. They do have, largely because of Cook County, a supermajority of Democrats in the House and the Senate. Should they be able to reap the benefits of a president where he's saying, hey, I can help you. I'm in a position to help you. And I know that your mayor doesn't want any help. And how do we know the mayor doesn't want any help? Because even Joe Scarborough can't get him to answer this gosh darn question.
Would you also like to get federal funding to help put 5,000 more cops on the street in Chicago? Would that help drive down crime?
Well, look, policing by itself is not the full strategy.
No, I understand that. You've talked about the other things you want, and I said those are good and important programs, but I'm asking also, would 5,000 more police officers on the street in Chicago be helpful to go along with all of those social programs that a lot of cities are engaging in and having success with?
Well, look, here's the best way I can put it, Joe, is that in the 90s when I was in high school, we had 3,000 more police officers and we had 900 people being murdered every single year in Chicago. It's just not policing alone. Of course, we want more detectives.
I know it's not policing alone, but I know it's not policing alone. You've told me everything else you want. I'm curious, and this does come down to an ideological difference between people. Do you believe that the streets of Chicago would be safer if there were more uniformed police officers on the streets of Chicago?
I believe the city of Chicago and cities across America would be safer if we actually had, affordable housing. Look, okay, I'm not saying that we don't.
This goes on for 2.5 more minutes.
Wow.
Joe Scarborough is like, okay, in a world where you get every policy, every dollar, every single thing that you're asking for, you get it. Would 5,000 more law enforcement officers help make Chicago safer? And he's like, well, I was in high school in the 90s. He can't answer it. He never does. He never will answer Joe Scarborough because he can't. Because ideologically, Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, who has, I don't know what's his approval rating. I remember at one time it was definitely under 10%.
It was 6%.
I was thinking it was 6%. 6%. Who are the... Does he have that many family members in Chicago that love him anyway? Like,
good question.
What are the 6% like? Killer bang up job, buddy. They're probably people who don't actually even live in Chicago anymore, but maybe work there. I don't know. He can't say it. If there is no middle area where Brandon Johnson can say, yeah, 5,000 cops, 5,000 LEOs in Chicago would do a world of difference to make this city safe. But what happens when they leave? What happens when they're gone? We need more than just law enforcement here, but of course, obviously, 5,000 law enforcement officers being sent to Chicago would help us immensely in the amount of time that they're there. It's not a sustainable thing. I don't think the federal government wants to be paying to secure the city of Chicago. What he has to admit to then is his entire policy leading up to this flies directly in the face of what would be keeping Chicagoans safe yesterday. He would have to either vocally, which obviously he won't do because he can run the political game here. He will talk Joe Scarborough in circles until they're both dizzy and they fall down, but he will not submit to the idea that he is not in this for the people of Chicago. That's not what Brandon Johnson is in this for. That's not what J.B. Pritzker is in this for. They're in it for themselves. They're in it for some sort of actually untangible idea that can't ever actually come to fruition. Why? Because if it came to fruition, their job would be done. They have to constantly be in pursuit of this thing that divides people, that makes you feel like a victim. And they want you to feel like a victim so that they can be your hero. This is what manipulative people do in relationships. What's that? Is it personality disorder?
Narcissism?
Yeah, that's more of a characteristic than a condition. But that's what people do, is they try to turn you into someone who goes, I think I am kind of getting screwed here. I think that I think I'm owed something here. So they turn you into a victim because they victimize you, but that's not the connection that you're supposed to make politically. They show up and they tell you, and now I'm going to give you what you need, because the other guys won't. Look what they did to you. And in the meanwhile, you've got literal people becoming victims on the street of Chicago because crime is rampant, and it's against Brandon Johnson's political aspirations to stop it. I'd be curious what y'all think about it. Should President Trump wait to be asked to send in the National Guard to restore law and order in American cities? Should he wait to be asked? I'd love to see it here in St. Louis.
I would too.
I would love to see it here. Let's talk more about it when we come back. And if you'd like to give us a call, we'll take some phone calls right now. 314-241-9797. What do you think that the president should do? He's got a solution in hand. Should it have to be welcomed into the city, invited into the city? St. Louis, Chicago, all these cities alike? Or if a city needs to be addressed, if crime is rampant, should President Trump just go on in? 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. You tell me what you think. Next.
Old, feels just like a beat up truck. I turn the engine, but the engine doesn't turn. What smells of cheap wine, cigarettes? This place is always such a mess. Sometimes I think I'd like to watch it burn. I'm so alone, and I feel just like somebody else. Man, I ain't changed, but I know I ain't the same. But somewhere here in between these cities.
The Lutheran Elementary School Association, Lisa, STL.org, Lisa with an E. If you've been thinking about an alternative to public education, there are a lot of options out there. A lot of parochial schools, like non-denominational, non-affiliated school options for you, Catholic schools. These are all great options. I'm not here to tell you not to do one thing, but to do another. I am here to tap on your shoulder because you've been thinking about saying, I think I want to be done with public school. I'm kind of done with this fight. I'm kind of done with this worry and all the anxiety that it puts on your shoulders to have to police and monitor because something came home and it made you raise your eyebrow and raise more suspicions. And you're just kind of tired of it. What if I told you that there's a Lutheran school near you, an elementary school, 34 in the bi-state region, 4 high schools in the area, one coming in fall of 2026 in Franklin County, that they could provide you a stellar education, special education in most of the schools. They support IEPs and special needs as well. And they also offer tuition assistance. What if I told you that it was financially within your reach? For your child, for your grandchild, consider a Lutheran education. It's something you can invest in that will pay dividends over the course of their entire life. Lisa, STL.org.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at Missouri Broadcasters. Hey,
it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
Smart talk, strong values. This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're taking phone calls right now, 314-241-9797, on the poll question, should the president send in the troops, the law and order, to restore law and order to our American cities? Should he wait to be asked in order to do it? 314-241-9797. You got to call in. Ethan's screening phone calls, and he was just outside sobbing over the breaking news of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce getting engaged. That's official. I don't know why he's so moved by this. I didn't realize he'd be this emotional.
I think all of America is probably emotional today. Or not.
Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce engaged, and Ethan is taking it hard. Just didn't see that coming. Real quick, before we get to some of these phone calls, you can join us at 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. Should the president wait to be asked to send in the cavalry? What do you think?
I really want to listen to people make a case either way
You're not
because
sure.
I'm so on the fence.
Brad?
I have a strong feeling about this.
Well, this would be the time to say
This is the time then. I think that he
Make your
shouldn't
case
wait.
to me.
Just
you
go.
want me to leave the room?
Just go. You know, your job as president isn't to make people happy. It's to protect them. And so, like, why are we worried about what these Democrat governors or these Republican governors who wouldn't want them to come in, why are we worried about what they think while people are, like, in Chicago, dying on the streets every day? Why are we worried about that?
Let's get to... Okay, go ahead. Finish up.
I was going to say, we have to protect people.
Officer Gary, I want to get to his phone call. I know he knows a little bit about law enforcement. What do you think, Gary? Should the president wait to be asked?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Why is that?
Because none of these big Democratic cities are ever going to ask him to come in and embarrass them and show how ineffective they are. I was a cop in St. Louis for 25 years. I've been a policeman over here in Illinois now for 24 years. But when I was in St. Louis in the late 70s all the way through 2000, I witnessed firsthand the myopic short-sightedness of the government and the police department. They never wanted to study what the problems were. All they ever wanted was quick fixes. They thought if they had a march, or they all put on purple armbands, or they all stood around and sang, that would really have a measurable effect on what the problem was. They didn't want to. All they wanted to do was throw something out there that they could take credit for right away so that they could spout about it in the next election. They would never take the time and the energy to create a long-term solution, because it took years and years and years for the environment there to get that way. It's going to take years to get out of it.
Do you think? Do you think that crime and you know the safety and security of this city that we're sitting in right now here, where the studio is? I don't know when you left St. Louis police work, but how has it gotten worse over the time? Is it at the bottom of the barrel and it can't get any worse? What is the situation?
I think it's about the same. I worked in the 3rd District to start with. I was in the Mobile Reserve Unit, which went all over St. Louis into the worst areas in that. North St. Louis, North and North Market there is still dangerous. It was dangerous back then. I retired in December of 2000, so I've been gone for about 24 years now. But it's moved around a little bit. The area that I patrolled there around 39th and McCree and Blaine, that they had to blight that whole area. They tore down 9 square blocks and rebuilt it all because they just couldn't get it fixed the way they were doing it with short-term fixes. The only thing they could do was blight all those houses, tear them all down, and start all over again. So
you say the president shouldn't wait, that the people here deserve the safety and security that can be provided. And as a police officer, Gary, is what the president can send in, will it make a difference if it came to St. Louis?
It will. My only concern with this is, like when we were in the Mobile Reserve Unit, we'd get called into the worst neighborhoods, and we'd do saturation patrol. There were 20 of us, and we would kick butt and take names for about a month and clean it up so the streets were quiet again and kids could come out and play. But when they took us out of there, took that force out of there, there was no maintenance programs. Yeah. And, within a little while, and that's what I'm afraid is going to happen in D.C. or Chicago or any place else they go, that saturation patrol, obviously there's not going to. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think I heard them talking about through the administration. I think President Trump said it himself that the efforts that they're focusing on right now in D.C. is they're putting his people in the more prominent areas so that the local police who know the areas inside and out, they know where the trouble is, they know how it goes, could focus kind of on, it sounds like what you're talking about there, where they could go more into the neighborhoods that need extra police work for the local PD. And then what they were doing is kind of holding down the fort on the more maybe probably touristy main areas so that those police officers could be relieved of those duties to get to the real root of the crime in the area.
Yeah, right. But that's not sustainable. Once they get that support system taken away, they're not going to be able to put as much focus on those problem areas. There's just you can't just police your way out of the problem. Yeah, you can retard it, or slow it down for a while. But they just, the cities, the government, the Democratic mayors and things have to want to attack and solve the major problems that are there with long-term solutions. Again, not just those quick fixes that they can take credit for to get reelected. Because, we all know the main job of any politician is to start campaigning for the next election, not really get anything done.
Yeah. Well, Officer Gary, thank you for the phone call. We're getting some votes on the YouTube live chat for you for mayor of Chicago if you're interested in relocating. We'd love to have you back. Thank you, Gary. We appreciate you. Let's get to Dennis. Dennis, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. What do you think? Should the president wait to be asked to send in the help?
Absolutely, he should wait to be asked. What he's doing now is grandstanding. And like the previous caller said, it's a Band-Aid fix, which isn't going to fix anything long term. He's contradicting his avowed purpose to cut federal spending by mobilizing federal troops and spending federal tax dollars to put a Band-Aid approach that isn't going to last on the cities.
How would you fix the crime in the city? Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah. Have the judges enforce the law and sentence people.
Prosecute the crime. That would be a good start.
Yeah, well, you need more cops, but soldiers are not cops. If the president wants to solve the problem, it's not going to happen overnight, but send some federal dollars to the cities that want it for the specific purpose of training cops.
Dennis, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it. Let's get to Mark. Mark, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. Do you think the president should wait to be asked to send in his help?
I think there's a tipping point. And throughout all of these politically motivated cities, blue cities, we're waiting until that tipping point warrants it. And what the last caller just said, you got to go back through and change all the processes so those are taken care of. But if you do nothing, it's going to be the same scenario over and over and over and over again. Why not do something? Isn't that everything that's happening with the Trump administration right now? He's doing something that we all said for years, do something. I don't care if it's wrong. At least we know what direction to go.
Yeah, Mark, that's a great point.
My analogy is that look what happened in Georgetown. Those people would still be alive if there was a President Trump back then that said something's wrong over there and I hear too much about it. Let's take care of this. They knew it was happening, and all those people died. Is that what we're waiting for?
Mark, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it. Are you being persuaded yet? Or still up for grabs?
I am being persuaded, but both sides are making good arguments, too. So I'm listening.
Mary, David, Bill, Mark, hold on. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll get to you guys on the other side of this. If you hold on, more phone calls when we come back about whether or not the president should wait to be asked to send in the help. That help that's really cleaning up Washington, D.C. right now. It's not the full fix. It's not the permanent fix. But I'm going to tell you when we come back why this could actually change things for good for the future in these blue cities if he were to say, I'm coming in hot, whether you want it or not. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
All we need is a little push from start to end.
Mark Cox here. Let me introduce you to my friends at the Lit Cigar Lounge in St. Louis, where luxury meets comfort. Premium hand-rolled cigars, an extensive selection of rare bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails. It's comfortable for non-smokers, too. They have a state-of-the-art ventilation system. They have private lockers and live music every Friday night, perfect for date nights or business meetings or just winding down. Visit litstl.com. This is your chance to win a free basic handgun skills class from the Range St. Louis West. Mark Cox here. 14803 Manchester Road in Baldwin is where the range sits, and you got to go. This is ideal for beginners, expert instruction. They have it available in a women-only class if you're more comfortable. Normally, the class is $135. You can win right now. TheRangeSTL.com/971. Again, STL.com/971.
Many people dream of learning how to play the piano. Hi, this is Kathy from Lacefield Music, but few ever do. And here are a few of the reasons why. I can't read music, it will take too long, it's too expensive, it's too hard, or I've tried before and I failed. This would be true with most piano lessons, but not with Lacefield Music's innovative adult piano classes. With Lacefield Music's classes, you will learn how to read music and play with both your right and left hand the very first week. And you'll be able to play all your favorite songs in only 8 weeks. Maybe not fast, but you'll be able to play them. Lacefield Music's adult piano course is usually $100, but only twice a year we open this course up to the public for the low price of only $29.99. That's only $29.99 for all 8 weeks. What have you got to lose? Classes are forming now in our Chesterfield location. Call 636-778-2070 or go to lacefieldmusic.com to sign up online. That's lacefieldmusic.com.
We're taking calls on this subject right now. It's the YouTube live chat poll of the day. Should President Trump wait to be asked to send in the National Guard to restore law and order in American cities? Yes or no? And we are hearing from both sides on this, so we'd like to hear from you. You can type in a comment on YouTube. It's the YouTube live chat poll. 12:35. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
From Festus to Freeburg, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
We're very pleased about the progress that we're making. I know that I live rent-free in the president's head, and I wish he would spend some time in Chicago so that he could see what a lovely city we have. Governor, quick follow-up. What do you do if the National Guard...
Pritzker's got it bad. You want to talk about living rent-free. So we're watching this video. He's standing out there by the Chicago River, whatever it is, and he's like, I wish you would come down here. And this cameraman pans off of J.B. Pritzker up to the Trump Hotel where it just says, Trump. Yeah, let's talk smack on people who've invested in major real estate transactions in the city of Chicago. J.B. Pritzker, give me a break.
I wish he'd come here so he'd know what it's like. Standing in front of Trump Tower in Chicago.
I have a picture in front of that hotel. All right, let's take a few more phone calls here. We're asking if the president should wait to be asked. Because he said that in his executive orders yesterday. He said, I think it'd be nice if they asked us to come in. And then he kept talking about Illinois over and over and over again, which is how Pritzker's perception of that is Pritzker being like, I'm doing awesome. Like, at least talking about me all the time. I must be really doing a bang-up job. Here's the question that I want to throw this dart at the board and see where it lands. If the president is maybe baiting Pritzker and Johnson into saying, you will not come here. We don't want your kind here. You stay the heck away from here. Chicagoans don't like you here. And they're really super vocal about it. And then the president does what he does and he sends them in. And it's safe in Chicago for a minute. Is it not 100% obvious who made it safe in Chicago?
Yeah.
As an Illinois resident who is on my hands and knees praying for 22% of Cook County to vote red this coming midterm election in 26, because that's when Illinois elects its statewide. We need 22%. This is the move that will get us over that 22%. If Donald Trump brings the America first, make America safe again attitude to Chicago, and people can tangibly realize that it is safer in the city of Chicago, and he has Pritzker and Johnson over and over and over talking about how Donald Trump, your kind's not wanted here at all. And then he does it anyway because he can. And then it's safer. Checkmate. Let's get to a few more phone calls before we wrap here. I'm going to start with Mary. Mary, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. Should President Trump wait to be asked to send in the help?
No, definitely not. I think we need it more than ever in St. Louis. It is a disaster down there, especially during the evenings when you want to attend an event, go to a restaurant, anything. I think, too, we need more police officers, and I think they need to be 2 police officers. In my day, I'm 65, when they used to ride the beat together to protect each other, because these kids and adults are coming at them as gangs, and a lot of people are coming at the police, and I think it's unfair. I think the police are doing the best they can when they can do it, and I think our President Trump needs to just come here and take over.
All right, Mary, thank you.
Us.
Yeah, thank you for the phone call. Do they not ride in pairs still? I thought they still ride in pairs.
I don't know the answer to that.
I think they do. Somebody smarter than me messaged the show. David, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. You think the president should wait to be asked or send him on in?
Well, obviously, I think it's a diversion from Epstein, but in the big picture, in 1776, the logic was taxation with representation. And
what logic?
The ability to break free from a king 250 years ago was based on the king ignored us and decided to do stuff against us. And so you, Annie, said this is going after blue states or blue cities.
Yeah,
well,
blue cities, because it's not there's some blue...
without representation.
What?
That's taxation without representation, right?
David, wait, David. I want David. Wait, I and everybody listening wants to understand your point. Can you explain that?
Taxation with representation means that we get to run our own lives, and we don't need a stinking king to say that we can't run our lives.
Hey, David, can I interject here real quick? David, I won't hang up on you. We can have a talk. Can I ask you a quick question there?
Yep.
So you just said that we don't need a king to help us run our own lives. We can run our own lives. I live in the state of Illinois. Do you know that Governor Pritzker didn't lift his COVID emergency until mid 2023?
And he was smart because he did. And you probably have a lot less dead because of that, right?
Wait. So in Pritzker's case, when he decided for 3 years to run my life, that was good though.
So you're an anti-vaxxer and you don't believe that COVID is real? So you don't care about your listeners dying because of bad advice? Yeah, I'm so sick of you phonies pretending to be patriots and getting people killed. Have you watched the movie The Apprentice?
No, I've never seen the movie The Apprentice.
The Apprentice came out just the summer before the election, and it had to do with how Donald Trump ended up with Trump Towers in New York City.
Who made that movie?
I'd have to think about it.
Who's in it? Just so I can make sure I write it down. Because I've seen the show, I've heard of. I never actually watched the show The Apprentice.
The movie is about how Donald Trump was the apprentice to the organized crime lawyer Roy Cohn. and how Donald Trump got Roy Cohn to blackmail the city of New York.
David,
to
let me
give
ask you a
him
question.
blighted land.
Let me ask you a question. The initial question that we offered up to and invited you, David, to come on my show and have a discussion with me. That was the invitation. And
on my airwaves.
They're as much my airwaves as they are yours, sir. I am a public citizen here too, and yes, I'm speaking to you, but they don't belong to you any more than they belong to me, nor do they belong to you less. So we're having a conversation on a show with my name on it, and I've invited you here with the invitation to answer the question, not to give a diatribe. I promise you, when you get your own show, I'll tune into that, and you can run the airwaves the way you want to there. My question to you, David, excuse me. My question to you is: should the president send in help to help these cities become more secure? Are you from St. Louis?
Yeah, I'm from Webster, and
do you feel safe? No, hold on, David. You've tried to take over the show. I'm not going to hang up on you. We can continue this conversation, but I'm doing the interview here, and I'm happy to have your opinion on here. Do you feel safe coming into St. Louis at night?
Sure.
So, do you think that there is a crime problem in St. Louis at all?
No.
Okay.
And as
well,
a matter
we disagree
of fact,
on the premise then.
Cities, of the top 25 cities, St. Louis is down, I don't know, is it 17 or something like that?
David, do you have kids? Do you have kids or grandkids?
The worst cities.
David, do you have kids or grandkids?
What's that?
Do you have children or grandchildren?
Yeah, but I'm not going to get doxxed, so I'm not going to give any information about them.
Listen, Aunt, my whole life is out there for the taking, so I'm not asking you to give me their social security numbers. I'm wondering if you'd feel comfortable with your grandchildren on the streets of St. Louis at 10 o'clock at night, having to walk maybe 6 blocks to a parked car in a garage. Would you feel okay with that?
It's a part of socialization.
Yes or no? Would you feel comfortable with that? Would you feel comfortable? No, David, yes or no? David, let's have this conversation. David, let's have this conversation. Would you feel comfortable with your grandchild walking 6 blocks to a car parked in a garage after a Cardinals game lets out in downtown St. Louis at 10:30 at night? Yes or no?
Trusting your neighbors is what it's all about.
Yeah, that's how you get dead.
United we stand,
David,
divided we fall.
Your policing policy in St. Louis City at 10:30 at night is trust your neighbors. Did you see July 4th where the children of these neighborhoods that have been neglected and told they've got nothing to live for and they can run their lives the way they want, they don't think they're going to live to see 30. They're out there shooting fireworks at each other on Market Street. You want your grandkid walking out in that at 10:30 at night?
So does the governor of Missouri think that it's a good idea?
They've taken over the police situation in St. Louis because it's such a disaster. And you just told me that there's no crime problem in St. Louis?
Does the governor of Missouri think it's a good idea for the president to send the National Guard into the city of St. Louis?
Doesn't matter.
Sure it does.
David, quiet. David, I'm not hanging up for you, but I'm turning you down. David, what you have to understand here is that you're trying to bob and weave around all of these different things because you hate Donald Trump. You wake up in the morning to hate Donald Trump. You eat hate for Donald Trump for breakfast. That is how you feed your soul. And I don't know why anybody wants to live that way. The fact of the matter is you can't admit that St. Louis City has a rampant crime problem. And you can't even say about your own grandchildren that, of course, hell no, you don't want your grandchildren walking around the streets of St. Louis at 10:30. I got carjacked at 4 p.m. in the middle of the day in April one time because I was pregnant. I was there for the taking. There was no problem with them coming to get me in broad daylight. Nobody even stopped these people from carjacking me. This city is rampant with crime, and the fact that you can't even admit that, all you want to do is call onto this show and talk to me about Donald Trump and the Epstein files. That's your only problem? That's the only thing that matters to you more than children who are walking around the streets of St. Louis after trying to watch their favorite Cardinals baseball player hit a home run because it's something they'll remember for the rest of their lives. You don't give a crap about that. You want to make sure that we talk about the Epstein files and Donald Trump, of which there is zero evidence that Donald Trump did anything nefariously wrong. David, you get the last word. Go.
Well, I'm glad I'm finally out of the censorship and you finally stopped lying about me. But the fact of the matter is
where was I wrong?
Roy Cohn, C-O-H.
Bye. I'm done. I've passed the break. I said I wouldn't hang up on it. My apologies for lying.
Ooh.
I did become a liar, man. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Ouch. At the beginning of that, there was a number of ways that it could have gone. And I got some texts, actually, from people saying, yeah.
Fan Annie down. I'm going to sip my coffee.
He must not live in Illinois because, I'll actually quote this text, JB No Toilets Pritzker is a hero for locking down the state for 3 years, but Trump is a tyrant for being tough on crime.
I can't wait till David, who is still listening, and I promise we'll listen for the rest of the show today, just in case we mention David's name. And David, I will continue to mention your name to make sure that you continue to listen. I just want you to know that you do more for me calling in, talking like that, and exposing the TDSers of the world than I could ever do playing clips of doofuses all across the land, the whole country. I can play those people, and people are like, those people don't exist for real. But they do exist, and they listen to the Annie Fry Show, which means we have the opportunity to reach David. David, you're my new project, you and DJ. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
I've had the deepest rhythm. You can have it all, but now keep moving. I'll take it in, but don't look down. 'Cause I'm on top of the world.
All right, if you're into planning and you're into making sure that you can have your dream retirement, I want you to consider calling the Retirement Advisory Group, 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494. They are able to help you learn where you are and where you're about to be. Now, they work with mostly people who are right there. The next step is probably into retirement, or at least hopefully into retirement. You want to know that dream retirement that you've been seeking out as you've been saving for decades and working your tail off to make sure that you can enjoy retirement. Hunting, fishing, traveling, doing nothing, Sudoku, whatever it is for you. It's up to you. It's your dream. It's not mine. You call the Retirement Advisory Group. You connect with Bob and Tammy Kershaw, and you're going to tell them where you are. They're going to tell you how they can make sure you can secure it, help you create a personalized structured income plan, and you'll be off to the races. It's so comforting to know this is what is in front of me, and you don't have to guess, and the guessing is where worry sets in. Don't worry about it. Give the Retirement Advisory a call, 314-993-9494, online at retirementkey.com.
Mark Cox here. Join us live Thursday, September 11th at Chicken Ellie's in Eureka as we support Focus Marines Foundation. They're helping post 9/11 veterans transition to civilian life. Learn more at 971talk.com/events.
Annie Fry is back because truth doesn't take a break. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Wiggins!
Wiggins!
All right, I'm going to play a little sounder here because...
yelling in the background.
Well, we're moving on. Well, at least I am. We don't have to, but it's very
Now this is your
interesting.
show? It was David's show, now it's your show?
This is Wiggins
I
America
wanted to go
now.
talk to Bill, who was waiting on the line and didn't get to come on the air because...
Oh, is Bill still there?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay. Okay, well...
Thank you, though, Bill, and everybody else who called in, especially you, David. I like you.
Moving from Missouri and Illinois into California, we are going to talk a little bit about Gavin Newsom.
Yay. Why?
Aren't you excited about that? Because he is making waves with his press account online. This is from a couple weeks ago. I'm going to read a couple of his press releases, tweets, whatever you want to call them. A couple weeks ago, Donald Trump just posted one word. Remember Covfefe?
Covfefe.
Covfefe.
I don't know about that. Did you, sneeze in the middle of that?
No.
Covfefe.
This was one word that didn't make quite the waves that Covfefe made, or Covfefe.
Covfefe. How do you say it, Brad?
I say Covfefe.
Just like everybody else.
I
And
say
Trump. That's how Trump said it.
The Merriam-Webster dictionary says Covfefe.
No, it doesn't.
It didn't. Bella.
You had me at 5%.
I
Really?
almost gotcha. Bella was the only thing that this tweet said. Do you remember this one?
B-E-L-A.
B-E-L-A.
Like Belarus.
And nobody really knew what it meant. And so Gavin Newsom jumped on that and said, in all caps, Donald, tiny hands, has written his autobiography this morning. Unfortunately, low IQ, he spelled it wrong. Beta, B-E-T-A.
Oh.
Soon you will be...
What a journey for a bad joke.
Soon you will be a, quote, fired beta because of my perfect, beautiful maps. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
His poop map?
GCN. No, not the poop map. Redistricting.
I really wouldn't call it beautiful.
The gerrymander. So this is in the midst of I was toward the beginning of him doing this parody of Donald Trump's tweets. Have you noticed that they've been getting some traction?
Only because conservatives can't stop lapping it up because they're making fun of it.
Are conservatives, that's where I was going with this, are conservatives making fun of it, or are they, because what I've seen is some pundits, like Tommy Lauren, for instance, be kind of upset about it and fire back at him. Do you think that's the right approach?
What is he fire? What is she firing back at?
Just that he's making a fool of himself,
Well,
trying
yeah,
to
that's
pretend
why
to
it's
be
fun.
Trump. I agree, but do you think that it's funny?
I think it's fun to make fun of him. I'm not like that about most people, but Gavin Newsom just begs for it.
This isn't a laughing with situation. This is definitely a laughing at situation.
It says, what's the point? I mean, all it is a clarion call to people who hate Donald Trump, who want to get together on the next thing to hate Donald Trump over.
Well, that was my next question. Do you think it's moving the needle? I
don't believe any of these are your next questions.
Yes, it is.
I say something and you're like, well, I was just going to ask you that.
I was going right
we
there.
can do this the whole segment.
Code Fief.
Buffet.
Do you think that this is moving the needle for Democrats? Because it definitely is for Newsom. He's getting a lot of attention out of it. But do you think that this is gaining traction for people who might be wanting to listen to a different point of view?
There's nothing that these losers, they're total losers. Look, I sound like Trump. They're just total losers. That's it. That's all I have. No, there's really nothing else to say. I mean, it is, though, because Donald Trump is winning so much that Donald Trump has created a character that the left is now mimicking, thinking that they're making fun of Trump. But people are like, this is Donald Trump's character, and you Democrats have screwed the thing up so much that we'll take everybody together, mean tweets, and roll the dice and see what happens next. And then 7 months in, everything is great. Everything's so great that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are even engaged because they're so happy about it. So everything is going well, and the left is like, what do we do now? Because nobody likes any of our policies. We never even tried to advocate for it. Let's try making fun of Trump again.
Yes.
And it's fun for us. It's just not the intended level of entertainment. Are you just going to ask me that?
I was going to ask you if you like the sweeper.
Yeah.
The latest turn in this story is that now Gavin Newsom is starting to sell.
Turn or the turd?
Turn. Is starting to sell MAGA merchandise.
Yeah. Okay.
Branded the same way. So he has hats with Newsom was right about everything. He has Newsom Bibles or something. He's saying they're sold out, and he's making fun of boat parades. This is the latest in the turn of Gavin Newsom's parody
Is he
account.
selling Make America Gavin Again flags?
Make America Gavin Again. The message, I mean, it rolls off the tongue, but it
David,
doesn't
call
mean
me back
anything.
and let's talk about Kings once again. Get back on the phone. Ethan, unblock him. I need David.
No Kings. No
I'm
Kings.
getting messages from people right
no
now.
Kings.
Commending me for my patience, which
this-
I feel like I might have even lost
This
there.
is the Gavin Newsom Patriot Shop. And
It's
has
more of a Hatriot shop.
lots. That's very good. I was
Thank
just
you.
going to ask you that.
Shut up.
Is this more of a Hatriot shop or a Patriot
I got a
shop?
break. I can't do
You
this.
kind of went there already, so I'll just let it go.
All right.
All right. Well, I think, to summarize here, I think Gavin Newsom is doing a lot for his own career. I don't think he's really changing anybody's minds. I think it's funny. I think it's actually pretty funny the way he's writing. But I also really believe that this isn't really changing anything.
He's just
other
raising
than-
money, folks.
He's raising
money off of people who hate Donald Trump. And they're idiots, so they keep getting rid of their money like it's some sort of worthless government program that's never going to materialize in anything that actually helps them. And it helps the Republicans the whole time.
He's great at it. Democrats usually are really good at messaging.
David,
That's all this
call
is.
me back. I miss you. We'll be right back.
The reason many of us hate insurance companies is because some of them act like bullies. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I've been dealing with these creatures my whole career. Whether it's a workers' comp claim, an auto accident, or a nursing home or medical mishap, the playbook is often the same: deny and delay. We became the largest injury firm in America for a reason. We fight the bullies. They know who we are, and I know it makes a difference for our clients. Just go to forthepeople.com and see our results and our verdicts after those bullies gave us their final offer. Hiring the wrong firm can be disastrous. Hiring the right firm could substantially increase your settlement. It's easy to get going. Visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer, or call us on your cell at Pound Law, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Cracks in your concrete become separated, they become uneven, and they become dangerous at home, at work. If you're responsible for that concrete at work in the parking lot or something, and it becomes a hazard, you need to do something about it. You know that you've been kind of putting it off because you don't want to deal with it. Here's what you got to do. You got to call my friend Matt Hayes, and you have to say, Matt, I got this issue. I said earlier this week, you got to come see my crack in the concrete and tell me what you can do about it. And he will come out and he will assess the situation and say, yeah, this is what you need to do. And you're not committed to anything before you have that conversation. So you definitely know what you're getting yourself into. That's really the nice thing about working with Home Shield Foundation Repair. They're local. They're a family-owned business, very experienced at this type of thing. And they use a very sensible, cost-effective process of polyjacking to put foam underneath the concrete, raise it up, level it out, 5-year warranty. Give them a call at 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636, online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
To prevent violent crime. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump calls this a strong disincentive.
If somebody kills somebody in the Capitol, Washington, D.C., we're going to be seeking the death penalty.
Announcing that during a cabinet meeting while pushing back on criticism from Democrat-led states over his use of National Guard troops to help in the temporary D.C. crime crackdown. He's also said they could go next to other cities, including Chicago. Illinois' governor among the Democrats also resisting the president's push to crack down on bail policies, threatening federal funding cuts.
Illinois' no-cash bail policy is backed by a law signed by Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker 2 years ago.
We moved from a system based off of how much money someone has in their pocket to one that's based off of risk.
State Senator Robert Peters reiterating the Democrats' stance on zero-cash bail that Republicans, including State Rep. Patrick Sheehan, who's also a Plainfield police officer, contends puts victims at risk.
It's just so disheartening as a police officer to arrest someone for a crime only to see them out a few hours later.
The president doesn't have the authority to change Illinois law, but he can, as he's threatened to, revoke some of Illinois' federal funding.
Fox's Jeff Bonasso, the president saying he's willing to go to Chicago and that the governor refuses to admit he has problems. Just getting word of some big news for entertainment and sports. Taylor Swift and Kansas City football star Travis Kelce just announcing they are engaged, releasing a joint post. They're both 35 and have been a couple for 2 years now, with Swift attending Chiefs games and Kelce globe-trotting to concerts during Swift's Eras tour. No word yet on any wedding planning. America is listening to Fox News.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZzzQuil Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
You have to ask yourself, is this really August in St. Louis? Another fantastic afternoon. Lots of sunshine, 77 for the high, very comfortable humidity levels. Tonight, clear skies, beautiful evening, 54 for the overnight low. Wednesday, sunny and 79. Thursday, partly sunny, just a tiny chance of a spot shower. 81 on Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Rain.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Roughshod over their cities and have been for decades. Why are Democrat governors angrier about federal law enforcement helping clean up their streets than they are about the fact that those streets need to be cleaned up to begin with? It shows a real sickness in the head. And I agree with the President of the United States. I think most Democrats, rank and file, nobody likes crime. Republicans don't like crime. Democrats don't like crime. Independents don't like crime. Why are Democratic governors doing everything in their power to make crime easier to do in their cities? It doesn't make an ounce of sense to me. But Mr. President, I appreciate you being willing to help, and I hope these governors take you up on the offer, because we should clean up all of America's streets. It's the right of every American to live in safety and comfort in their community.
So you've got a president who has restored at least the attitude, I'll even take that, of law and order at the southern border, within our cities, within our streets. Over and over and over again, common sense seems to be back in play. And then he brings peace across the world, and sitting people down and figuring out a way to achieve an agreement that can bring peace. He does it over and over and over again, and it seems like not everybody on the home front is sold on it. Let's get to our guest. Jim Carafano joins us once again, Senior Counselor to the President and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. Jim, welcome back. Always good to have you here.
Yeah, hey, thanks. You know, this policing thing is really interesting, and it was interesting that you made a kind of connection between his attitude towards foreign policy and border security and policing. So the critics, one of the critics said, well, it's not a very efficient way, it's not sustainable, but it misses the point. What Donald Trump has shown is that if you police the city, crime will go away. You don't need new laws. You don't need fancy programs. You just need to, like we did on the border and like we do with foreign policy, do what you legally have the authority to do. And what I think he's done is put these cities to shame. Remember, all these leftist politicians were talking about it's not efficient, it's not sustainable. Their answer was defund the police, cashless bail, a bunch of other wacky things. And what Trump is showing, that's all smoke and mirrors. What's going to happen is people in cities, much like when the president secured the border, are going to turn to their leaders and go, why can't we have some of this? And this, is exactly what's happening around the world. Other people in other countries on border, on policing of their cities, on dealing with immigration, are increasingly looking at their leaders and saying, why can't you do what Donald Trump did?
Is that happening in Europe? I hear a lot of horror stories about Europe, about the way that there has been a lot of immigration, but there's zero assimilation. And a lot of the communities moving into a lot of these European areas, they live by a whole different set of laws. And so it's not, you can't just coexist in a way that is peaceful. I guess what you're saying is it just takes the will to say, we're going to have some law and order here.
And the point is that was happening in this downward spiral. And the answer from European leaders was, this is reality, right? We can't fix this. It's not going to change. We have to adapt and survive. It's kind of like climate change, right? And what Donald Trump showed is, no, you don't have to do that.
We're speaking with Jim Carafano with the Heritage Foundation. Do you feel like what the president is doing by offering up his services that he can as the chief executive here to send him to Chicago, and he said he wants Chicago to ask, among other places.
Right.
Do you think that this is a way to even show those communities, kind of like what you're saying here, like, if you want law and order, you can have it. You just have to invest in it and do it.
So now what needs to happen in my mind, being the simple guy that I am, in these communities is when the governors and mayors said, we don't need this, we don't want this, you're not welcome, people should go to the street and be marching and saying, yes, we actually do want our streets to be safe. And that will put those politicians in a very, very difficult place.
Yeah, somehow this president has gotten these politically oppositional detractors to advocate for unsafe streets. It's kind of a
there was a guy, I think it was Congressman Ford on Fox News, a great guy, and he said that the problem with the left is they swing at every pitch, right? So this is like in baseball, where doesn't matter how bad the pitch is, how far it is outside the strike zone, you just swing and a miss and swing and a miss and swing and a miss, and the left swings at everything Donald Trump does, no matter how good or questionable it is, and they just keep digging themselves. You know, like they're lucky because in baseball you only get 3 strikes, but you know these guys they get 3 strikes like every 30 seconds.
So true. The president is trying to negotiate peace across the world in a whole bunch of conflicts. But in addition to that, still in the midst of working out something between Russia and Ukraine. I heard a reporter say, ask President Trump about why I think Putin doesn't want to meet with Zelensky. And Trump's response was he doesn't like him. And it was like that. It was that simple. These guys don't like each other. They don't want to sit down and have a discussion. In your mind, how do you see what's the most realistic outcome of something that might eventually end and they stop killing each other, which I guess we'll call peace?
Well, I still think the most likely outcome is whatever you want to call it, ceasefire, peace deal, whatever. It's to stop, have a de facto of fighting in the positions that are on the ground. I still think that's the most reasonable outcome. Now, people say, the problem is everybody that's telling you what's going to happen here is like they know what Putin is thinking. I don't think any of these people know what Putin is thinking. I think the Ukraine-Russia peace thing is not like a giant Rorschach test, right? People just see in it whatever they want, right? And the Trump they want. The reality is I don't think we really know what, because only Putin can actually stop the conflict, right? What is he thinking? Is he believing generals that say, "Oh yeah, this drag this out for 3 months and we can win this thing," or is he just playing rope-a-dope because he doesn't know what to do, or is he just holding out to get the best deal he possibly can and then he's going to make a deal? I don't know. And the point is the U.S. strategy, which I think it is, has to be going to protect America's interests regardless of what Putin does, and I think Trump actually has us in that place.
We're speaking with Jim Carafano with the Heritage Foundation. He's a senior counselor to the president and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement. I want to circle back. We talked a little bit about this last Friday when you joined us later in the week. But this John Bolton story, I'm curious as to your perspective as somebody who understands the intricacy of these foreign policy, these relationships that have to be established and maintained. How is there a real, true deep state effort to sabotage Trump during his first term and yet still?
Oh, well, I think that goes without question. I mean, that's not even debatable. Absolutely. Because, look, I mean, you have the evidence before your eyes. Trump has been able to do what he wants this term. Look at the difference between what he has accomplished in the second term and what happened in the first term. What's the difference? The difference is we had a government in the first term that was actively working to thwart him at every turn. So, yeah, totally, it's totally true. And was Bolton part of that? Absolutely. John Bolton thought he knew foreign policy better than the president, and he wanted the policies that we implemented to be the president's policies, not his. And that, in the end, is why they butted heads and parted company.
Is the exposure of the efforts that were made to sabotage Donald Trump? I mean, there's obviously political hay to be made on Donald Trump's part to say, like, told you so, all that. But how do you sustain a valid power in an American government that's supposed to be by the people and for the people if we don't expose every nook and cranny of who was trying to do what you just said John Bolton was trying to do, which is implement his policies when he was never elected?
Right. Well, I think there's two different things. One is people that are fighting you in government. And I think we've all seen employees that are, and family members and relatives that try to do that. That's a management problem. So you have the ability to manage well, to manage people well. And I think the Trump administration has a much stronger ability to do that in this government, which is part of it. But the other thing is people are breaking the law. And some of this is just not people say, well, I like the president's policy. I want to make his life as miserable as possible. And people that actually break a law and do something illegal to stop the president, that is a crime. There can be no excuse for that. And that needs to be identified, made transparent to the world, and the people that did it need to be prosecuted, and if convicted, needed to be punished to create a deterrent in the future. And so there's a bit of both of those things going on, I think. The question with the Bolton thing is, which one is it? Do we have just a guy that was obstinate in the president, or do we have a guy that actually committed crimes or not? I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I will say two things about this administration. One is, having been the victim of lawfare, I seriously doubt that they're going to go after somebody unless they can prove that it is a legitimate investigation, that they're not doing what was just done to them, right? I think the other thing is look, there's no rational reason for Trump to go after John Bolton from a political perspective. Bolton is not a threat to him. Bolton has no constituency. And so if they're going after this guy, it's not for political retribution, and it's not, thwart him from ever, running for president, because the chances of that are nil. It's because they think he did something wrong. I believe that that's true. Now, whether he did or not, I don't know. But do I think that they're going after him because they think he did something that was illegal? And my answer to that is I think that's honestly true.
I want to ask you one last question before we let you go. We're speaking with Jim Carafano, and we always love having you here with us, especially on Tuesdays. I wanted to ask you your thoughts on this report that came out really within the last 24 hours, I think, is when it hit the mainstream. President Trump has said that they're not going to allow 600,000 Chinese students into America, and a lot of people are equating these 600,000 Chinese students as spies, certainly. In 2022, there were 290,000 Chinese students. 23, there were 277,000 Chinese students. Now 600,000. Does that ring any alarm bells for you?
It does, to be honest, because every Chinese citizen in the United States, according to Chinese law, is a potential spy, because by law, they are supposed to serve the state of China. The Chinese have massive infrastructure here to suppress dissident students, to monitor them, to direct them. Do we have a handle on all that? I don't know. I mean, so I have lots of questions about whether a completely adversarial country, which has historically used the education system to exploit and undermine the United States, whether you would raise that number unless you had put the number aside, but just absolute confidence that you had control of the system for that, so that that there couldn't be abuses. So I think people are raising legitimate questions. I don't know. I don't know if it's a real deal or not. I don't know anything. But if you were saying to me, if you were going to double or triple the number of students in this country without making sure that all the safeguards were in place to deal with the problems that we know we're having from China with Chinese students, I would say that's a cause for concern.
Yeah. It's got a lot of people leaning in and going, wait, what? What are we going to do? They want to know more. We appreciate you, Jim Carafano. Thank you for being with us. Always good to have you here.
Thank you, my friend.
Take care. Bye-bye. Jim Carafano, Senior Counselor to the President and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. Go say hello to him on X at JJ Carafano. All right, quick break. Get your vote in on the YouTube live chat poll. Should President Trump wait to be asked to send in the National Guard to restore law and order in American cities? Yes or no? Rambo on YouTube said, I voted no, but I think I changed my mind already. He has purview over D.C., but he doesn't over the states. Red states like Missouri should set the example and invite him in. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment and vote in the live chat poll on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, our live broadcast. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
All up in my eye, you got a Prada bag with a lot of stuff in it. Give it to your friend, let's spin. Everybody looking at me, glancing a kid. Wishing they was dancing a jig here with this handsome kid. Sick a cigar right from Cuba Cuba. I just bite it. It's for the look, I don't light it. Ill way to ammo on the
Air Comfort Service. Gosh, it's a beautiful day outside, isn't it? Oh, man, I just didn't want to come inside. Spend a little lovely time outside while the weather is cool. Probably a reprieve for your AC. It's been working a lot this summer. Is it working well? Has it been running more than it needs to? Is your power bill outrageous? And then you realize, oh my gosh, my AC unit's not even working right, which means it's running all the time, not doing the job. So you can call Air Comfort Service and talk to them about coming out and doing a maintenance check on your HVAC system. You can also ask them about giving you a free estimate on a replacement if you so need to. I have had maybe my whole HVAC system, well, at least my furnace and my air conditioning, I don't know if that includes ventilation, replaced by Air Comfort Service. They did my water heater as well. And you can trust them. When they came out to see, for when both of them kind of run the fritz, they're like, here's what it's going to cost to replace it. Here's what it would cost to repair it. And then we could choose what we needed to do. And we chose to replace it because Air Comfort Service was doing a great job and we wanted to not have to worry about it in the future. 314-513-0091. You call them and ask them to come out and give you a free estimate. They have a 0% financing offer for up to 72 months. That'll make getting that new AC or HVAC system affordable. You can call them at 314-513-0091 or aircomfortservice.com.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. We're back with more truth. This is the Annie Fry Show.
David.
Goliath. Oh, I just thought we were doing Bible stuff.
Speak it out into the city and trust, love thy neighbor, or whatever that.
Trust thy neighbor.
What was the policing strategy from Caller David earlier?
Trust thy neighbor.
You want to, the question to Caller David, what would that have been, like 12:45 maybe? The question to Caller David was, does St. Louis have a crime problem? And his answer was
no.
And I was like, I think we're done here. I don't think we can agree on a solution to a problem we don't agree exists.
Yeah, it's hard to have a conversation when you have
But
completely different views.
that conversation went on. So after caller David established that there's not a crime problem, Lewis. Like, we don't need it. We don't need help. Why would we need help? There's no issue. I said, do you have children or grandchildren? He said, I don't want to get doxxed. I'm like, I don't think you're going to be. I think you're good. And he said, yes. And I said, would you want your grandchildren walking the streets of St. Louis, walk 6 blocks, which is not like a 6-block walk out of Busch Stadium after the Cardinals game? You could walk farther than that,
Yeah.
to get back to a car if you want to pay I don't even know. Can you pay $5 to park anywhere downtown anymore?
I don't know where that would
You'd
be.
have to be way far.
Do you know
away.
how much I paid to park for the Savannah Bananas game? On the
40?
other side of patios. On the
I-
other side of the street, that's the last on-ramp to go back to Illinois. I don't even know how to say that street.
It's south of the
Gratiot.
stadium.
Yes. $50 to park for a Savannah Banana game. It's $30 to go park there for Cardinals, I think, right now. Anyway, I asked caller David, would you walk the streets of St. Louis? Would you want your grandchildren walking the streets of St. Louis at 10:30 at night after a Cardinals game, 6 blocks to get back to your parked car in a garage? And his response was,
Trust thy neighbor.
and I thought, hell no. I'm not trusting any neighbors.
Well, the question was specifically in regards to police presence. And the answer was basically no.
I didn't even really ever get to say, like, the whole point was going to be everybody, you are walking 6 blocks to your car in a parking garage, paying attention to your surroundings. You're not like kung fu fighting all the way back to your car, maybe, but you're paying attention to what's going on. Would the presence of a couple of officers, guardsmen, out and about make you feel more comfortable? Of course it would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why it's so comical.
You know who I trust? I trust my neighbor guardsman and police officer.
You know what's funny?
And I like to see them.
Since we started this segment talking about Bible stuff, trust thy neighbor, just because you use the word thy does not make it scripture. I don't know if he was intending for it to. Maybe he wasn't at all.
It's King James.
But
not everybody reads that
trust
anymore.
thy neighbor is not scripture.
I got a message from a Mike. That's all I'm going to say about that. Said, in the police department, we have a name for people who believe like David. Victims. That was his reaction to it. And it's not really something that I am thinking, like, I want David to see that the opinion that I have on this, that I think a lot of Americans have on it, is not an attack on him. It's not that at all. This is not a red team suit up, blue team get your gear on, let's go to battle and let's win a war for the good guys. That's not what this is. This is just like, how about no criminals in the streets? Deal? No. It's not. It's as simple as it gets. And this is not simple enough for people who, again, only live to hate Donald Trump. That's his purpose. I ask a question on this show, open up the phone lines, and invite people to call in to agree with me or to disagree with me. I prefer that we have people who call in and disagree with me. I think that makes for a more interesting conversation. I'm certainly not right all the time. I want to have those conversations, and we're talking about a particular topic, and I'm inviting you in to have a conversation like that, and your response is that the only reason I'm talking about this is to distract from the Epstein files. Folks, there's nothing in the Epstein files that incriminates Donald Trump. Well, are you guys going to be okay when that comes out? David, are you going to be all right? When we get to the end of the Epstein thing and Donald Trump is once again vindicated. Not just like not guilty, but once again vindicated. I honestly think, listen, I was not a Trump supporter in the original primary. In the 15-16 primary, he was the last guy that I wanted to get the nomination. I hated the way he talked to my choice, Lil Marco, who today, sitting next to him at the cabinet meeting, Donald Trump turns to Marco Rubio and goes, "You were born for this job." He goes, "You better not ever leave. You better do this for the rest of your life. You better not run for anything ever again." And everybody's like, ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, he wants to be president still. I did not like Donald Trump. I didn't like the way he talked to people. I didn't like the way he treated Megyn Kelly specifically. That bothered me. Did I want him over Hillary Clinton? Every single day of the week, twice on Sundays. Duh. I had to warm up to Donald Trump. I'm not a forever and ever amen Donald Trump sympathizer. I don't think that the guy can't do wrong. But we have obvious things that have transpired, obvious evidence that has come about over the course of all of these years that everything they've lobbed at that guy, he comes out squeaky clean. And the things that are character flaws of his that have existed in a previous life when he was a real estate tycoon, businessman, kind of Hollywood, whatever, New York City playboy. The unsavory things about Donald Trump that I don't really like and didn't like were all when he was a Democrat. And all when the Democrats wanted to be around him, when the Clintons were like, we're coming to your wedding. Come to Chelsea's wedding. We want to be around you. We need to be near you. Can you give us some money? Like, that was all okay when Donald Trump was a Democrat. They were fine with his lifestyle then. They didn't judge his lifestyle then because their lifestyle was his lifestyle, and his lifestyle was their lifestyle. His cardinal sin is that he became a Republican. And all of these things that they try to drum up around him, he gets out of all of them. And it exonerates him. And it's amazing to look at somebody who's been this vetted, this attacked, raked over the coals, shot at, that he's this squeaky clean. It is, again, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again and again and again. It's one of the greatest American stories ever told. And we're not even near the end of it. It's pretty amazing to see. I would implore you, if you're somebody who has a visceral disgust for Donald Trump, I don't know why you're listening to the show, but I'm glad you're here. I truly am. But I would challenge that the thing that brought you to this place where you hate him so much, I would challenge the foundation with which you've built your disgust and hatred on to tell you, I don't think it's firm foundation. And if you could alleviate yourself of this type of anger and vitriol and hatred, you'd be living a happier life, a genuinely happier life. You don't have to like his policies, but don't be so consumed, David, with your hatred. It's not worth it, man. There's so much life to live. You got kids and grandkids. Go hug those kids and keep them safe. When we come back, I can't wait to speak with the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the United States Department of Justice. Harmeet Dhillon joins the Annie Fry Show next. Now, the Diamond Shop in Clayton, this family-owned business, 1910, folks, a business that started in 1910 and still around. That's pretty sweet, isn't it? They were in St. Louis originally. Now they're in Clayton. They've been there for a long time. And they have a beautiful, beautiful store that's full of beautiful, beautiful things waiting for a beautiful person like you to come. This sounds like Trump is doing this. Beautiful, huge.
Just keep going. You got it.
Beautiful.
Just keep
sparkling.
saying beautiful.
They have gold.
Gold?
Gold! Yeah. The Diamond Shop can help meet your needs, your expectations. And if they don't have in store exactly what you're looking for, guess what? They can create it. Tom is a master artist when it comes to taking your ideas, the things you've been dreaming of, something really special, and making it happen, creating it for you, or taking maybe a heritage piece, something you have inherited, it was grandma's or something like that, and turning it into something that you know that you can actually wear. When you're looking for a jeweler, when you're looking for a jewelry shop, you need the right people who are going to do right by you, and you're going to want to come back again and again, and those people are waiting to say hi to you at the Diamond Shop. Become a VIP. Visit them online at thediamondshop.net.
Insurance companies often have a basic strategy: delay, deny, defend. Some try to grind you down, but they have another tremendous weapon, a software called Colossus. They know which attorneys are great and which are not so great. They know who is likely to take the last offer and who will take them by their scalp, kicking and screaming to trial. They know that they have to pay some firms early and fairly. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. The insurance companies have done their homework, Before you hire a lawyer for your injury case, do yours. Visit forthepeople.com and see our settlements and verdicts for cases like yours. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. When you hire the wrong firm, you may be beat before you start. All law firms are not the same. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros, just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
Imagine this, a summer evening, relaxing under a beautiful porch overhang, hosting your friends on a composite deck, or enjoying a bug-free breeze in a screened room. That sounds dreamy, right? Hi, it's Kim, and that dream can be your reality with Lakeside Renovation and Design, because they specialize in creating outdoor spaces that make your backyard the go-to spot for family and friends. And with their attention to detail and the high-quality materials they use, you'll have a space that lasts for years. Visit lakesideRD.com today to get started on your outdoor oasis.
From the gateway city to the front lines of freedom. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Waiting for the time to pass you by. Hope the winds of change will change your mind.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for being with us. A beautiful Tuesday afternoon here in St. Louis, Missouri on 97.1 FM Talk, and we're glad that you're spending it with us. And we are very excited to welcome on to the Annie Fry Show the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Justice, Harmeet Dhillon, is with us now. Harmeet, it is an honor to have you on the show. Thank you so much for being here with us today to have a discussion about your efforts in the Civil Rights Division of this department.
Well, thanks for having me.
Of course. You know, we've been talking a lot, of course, in the last 24, 48 hours about the president's efforts through the administration to bring law and order back to the streets. But it's a really, really important thing to highlight what you've been doing, what the department has been doing to bring common sense back to our civil rights. And I want to give you the opportunity to talk about the focus and your task there at the Department of Justice to reiterate the civil rights that we should have that we've not been able to access as much in the last 10, 15 years.
Well, the Civil Rights Division is one of the larger sections of the United States Department of Justice. Historically, we're a little understaffed right now because a lot of the lawyers who worked here at the beginning of our tenure decided to quit rather than do the jobs assigned to them. And so we're in the process of rebuilding. But what we're rebuilding is a fighting machine to protect the civil rights of all Americans. And that really hasn't been the case in the Civil Rights Division before. It's always sort of been weaponized to protect a particular ideological viewpoints or, particular people of backgrounds that are historically oppressed. And it is 2025 in America, and I think this country can congratulate itself on having come a very long way towards eradicating some of the really invidious discrimination that we've seen in the past that many of the civil rights statutes were designed to remedy. And so today, our focus has been eliminating DEI wherever we can find it in America's colleges, universities, government contractors, you name it, sentencing and prosecutors' offices. We are here to protect girls' rights in education and in sports. That's a very important part of our work. We're here to make sure every American citizen feels like their vote is counted equally and only with other American citizens in federal elections. That's an important part of our work. We are here to go after cops who violate the civil rights of American citizens on an individual basis, not against whole communities that may have one or two bad cops, but just against the wrongdoers themselves to keep all Americans safe. And people of faith can look to the United States Department of Justice to protect their fundamental constitutional rights under the First Amendment. So those are just a few of the things that we're doing at the Civil Rights Division today.
We're speaking with the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Justice, Harmeet Dhillon. I mean, is it fair to say that, in a country that has a First Amendment, free speech, our ability to think and have, opinions and thoughts that are our own, is it safe to say that conservatives have been a suppressed class in the United States of America as of late?
Well, as a class, I think it's hard to say, but if you were to look at it anecdotally, it seems like all of the cases you see are really in one direction. And I have spent more than 3 decades of my career fighting for people's civil rights, and the First Amendment is our cherished rights, a bundle of rights actually. It includes religious liberty, but also free speech, the right to petition, the freedom of the press, and the right to gather together with people of your choice. And so all of those rights are important. The courts have gone up and down as to what are the more important rights. I was proud during COVID to bring 3 cases that reached the United States Supreme Court that protect and expand the rights of religious Americans to be able to congregate together and pray together despite so-called emergency dictates of Gavin Newsom at that time. And so, this is going to be a constant struggle because the forces of Marxism and atheism and liberalism that wish to eliminate and downgrade those fundamental rights of people of faith are constantly pushing against these other rights. And so it really does require constant vigilance to protect these rights.
So, I'm thinking about of the things that you've listed that you're pursuing. We certainly have, I have 3 daughters myself. I coach girls sports, volleyball and basketball and track. And I haven't encountered in my own personal life the transgender girl, the boy who's participating in these sports to take away opportunities for my daughter, but my eyes are wide open to it. In the state of Illinois, we have a freshman boy who is playing girls volleyball, took a spot from a girl, coach quits. There are these stories that go all over the country. And initially people were saying like, yeah, but how many times does this actually happen? And it's not a big deal until it happens, to you or to me. Is there a way to ultimately solve this problem to where it's not whack-a-mole all the time? Is this a Supreme Court ruling that we're going to have to see eventually?
Well, that may be the case, but first of all, the United States Department of Justice is speaking on behalf of the federal government, and the federal government has tremendous power to leverage here because for decades, states in their educational systems have all become welfare dependent on federal government funding, and so the United States has a lot of power in the purse in supporting educational programs throughout the country, and we can use that power of the purse to insist on federal law being followed. On top of that, almost every American university is a recipient of federal funds, so we can leverage our power of the purse there, and that is what we are doing. Now, states are pushing back on us, mind you, and so we are definitely engaged in a battle in the courts. But the United States Supreme Court earlier this year did speak on this issue in a different context. It upheld Tennessee's law banning transgender treatment and surgeries on minors, okay? And in that ruling, it specifically made some findings, the court did, about this concept of self-identification as transgender and whether that puts you in a protected category or not. And the court said it doesn't put you in the heightened strict scrutiny category. Now, if you extrapolate that court ruling into these other areas, into sports, into locker rooms, into dormitories, into sororities, and so forth, if you finish that logical conclusion, it leads you to the same conclusion, which is we have 2 sexes, and that's a recognized category in the law, and gender identity really isn't. Now, unfortunately, there has been some confused jurisprudence in the Supreme Court in a different setting in the employment context, where there's some loose language, and there's a suggestion in one case, a finding in one case, that someone identifying as trans is entitled to the protections of our federal employment laws. I think that's a wrong ruling, and I think it's at odds with the Tennessee ruling, and I think you're going to have to see the Supreme Court confront that.
We're speaking with the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the United States Department of Justice, Harmeet Dhillon, with us now. I'm wondering, you talked about how you get into office and then there's all these lawyers who are like, I'm not up for this, I'm leaving, they go elsewhere, you're understaffed. I'd imagine you're running into obstacles here and there and everywhere. Where were you surprised by any of the obstacles that you ran into? And have there been any places where you're like, wow, this runway is free and clear and we're ready for takeoff, where the path has been made more simpler for you to get to the bottom of the investigations that you're doing?
The path has not been made simpler. This is the government. So I come from the private sector. I started my own company, my own law firm, which employed dozens of people. I started my own nonprofit, which employed over a dozen. We've won cases at the Supreme Court. And you come into government, you think, okay, we're going to have all the resources of the federal government. The amount of paperwork you have to go through to just fire one person or hire one person is ludicrous. And I complain about it constantly. Ultimately, someone has to do something about it. We are chipping away at that, through our work in the Civil Rights Division and in the DOJ generally. We've chipped away at some of these issues, but there's a culture of no. There's a culture of fill out these 19 pieces of paper, and it's at odds with getting stuff done. So it's really frustrating to me, and I did not expect that. So, and the other thing that's kind of unexpected is, a lot of people come here to DC to make their name and they want something else. And so there's quite a few ambitious people who are in the government on the political side, and they aren't always pulling in the same direction. And so, there's a lot of politics all day in addition to the law. So,
okay. Well, we're speaking with Attorney General Dhillon here, and I appreciate your time, Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Justice. Before we wrap up, I want to ask you to give my listeners some advice, because I get here in St. Louis, I get notes from people who say, there was a recent one, and I'm not going to name the towns because I'm still investigating it, but they say that there is a transgender child in a 5th grade, and they're changing for PE in the room of the opposite sex, and nobody's really talking about it yet. But these issues are starting to pop up in our communities and some of our more rural communities as well. What kind of advice do you have for families who are experiencing this and they don't know where to go and they don't know what to do?
Okay, I have a couple of thoughts. First of all, you are all lucky to be in a state where you have lawmakers who are responsive to this particular issue. And literally an example I can give you is I'm friends with a prominent influencer in your state. And, we were exchanging tips on having nothing to do with politics. And she reached out to me because she had the experience of a boy coming into her girls' gym. And she saw that for the first time, not in a big city, but in a rural part of your state. And I said, well, you are so lucky because I happen to have the number of your attorney general and I'm going to call him. And I did. And Andrew Bailey was right there on the spot, and he handled that issue. And so there are ways to handle these issues, so people should not be afraid. And the other thing is, you get online or you go to these school board meetings and you feel like you're going to really step out of line if you take a position on these issues. The vast majority of Americans of all political backgrounds agree that their daughters should not be exposed to male genitalia or have their trophies or their ability to improve their self-confidence by winning at sports or their opportunity to compete for scholarships taken away by boys. And the volume of that happening is not legally relevant. If it happens to one kid, it means that women and girls are being set back decades and we are at the back of the bus again, and it is unacceptable. And so we all need to stand up for each other and shout that down. And so moms and dads should run for school board. Don't let crazy leftist, childless, activists who have no stake in the game run your school boards, and just get involved. The threshold of getting involved in politics as a citizen, I'm not talking about any particular party, but just getting involved in local politics is so low. Just go volunteer. You don't like what's happening in your community? Go down to the political party office or, whatever, and volunteer and get involved. That's my advice. I think people will be surprised at how easy it is. And that citizen activism is really important in our country, and it's kind of unique. In the rest of the world, you can't really break in that easily, but you can in our country. And so that's how people change things in America. Stand up for what you believe is right, and you will find that most people agree with you.
Well, we are certainly fortunate as a country to have your intellect and your strength and your ability to pursue these things. I've watched you, and you've been an advocate for all the right things, very vocal for a long time. And we're really honored and grateful that you gave us some of your time this afternoon. Harmeet Dhillon, thank you so much for being here.
It's my honor.
Take care. Bye-bye. The Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Justice. There is so much. It bothers me to hear that she doesn't have the staff she needs to be pedal to the metal, full force ahead. But they've identified it, and they're going to get the right people in there to do that. She's saving the culture of America. She's saving common sense and advocating for it fearlessly. You must follow her on X because she updates on the things that she's doing. And she's been doing this way before Donald Trump was back in office. She is a fighter. She is fierce, and she has been very successful. Those are the types of things as a mother. When I think about my children growing up in this country, she is the type of person that makes me feel like the kids are going to be okay because she's fighting for the right things, the obvious things, boys and girls. That's what we got. They are different. They are segregated in certain instances for a reason. Period. Simple as that. It's great to have her on the show. You want to add anything?
When you have the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Justice on the show saying publicly, obviously, that the forces of Marxism, atheism, and liberalism are pushing back on what they're doing the right stuff.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Well over the target, as they say. All right. Went a little bit long there, but could have gone longer. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we got X's and Y's at 2:30. Is Trisha coming in for that? Yes, she is. Okay. X's and Y's. Speaking of boys and girls and boys. Yes, there are differences. Yes, there are important reasons to keep them apart. Yes, there are important reasons to bring them together. When we do X's and Y's at 2:30, this is where we ask questions across the sexes to one another to get to the bottom of it, like things you always wanted to know but never really asked. You can throw those comments on the YouTube channel, and maybe we'll ask your question at X's and Y's at 2:30. We'll be right back.
Bold, unapologetic, unfiltered. The Mark Cox Morning Show is covering the issues that matter to you. From borders to school boards, Mark Cox is St. Louis conservative.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Well, if you just tuned in or just caught the end, Harmeet Dhillon, the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Justice, was just on the Annie Fry Show, and you will be able to get the podcast as soon as we have that uploaded. I encourage you to listen to the whole thing. In the meantime, our YouTube live chat poll is, should President Trump wait to be asked to send the National Guard to restore law and order in American cities? Yes or no? Let us know what you think. 149. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
So there's a lot of big news today, but we're going to talk about what will probably be the leading headline of the day. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce engaged. Initial thoughts, Ryan?
I'm not a Swiftie or a Kelce, but
got to work on that.
I still I noticed this news and that it exists, and I want to make it clear that
real news, not
exists,
fake news.
not fake news. It is out there,
engaged,
and they're engaged, and that's the thing that is happening now.
I hope Harmeet Dhillon's not still listening. Brad?
I actually, whenever they announced this, I'm always a little bit surprised. I would have thought, big famous power couple, I guess is what you would call them. I would think, I'm just used to them not getting married and just being an item for however long, and that's that. But Annie, I remember when you were talking about them getting together initially, you were saying this is something where you could see the all-American girl and the all-American guy get together and get married, and maybe they have kids. And with the kind of following that Taylor Swift has, it actually heartens me to see that they got engaged and that they're planning on getting married. Maybe they will have some kids. Maybe they raise a family. Maybe they become an example for what families should be for a whole generation of people that are just huge Taylor Swift fans.
Maybe.
Would you describe this as a love note to America?
Yeah. I don't know what that means, but sure.
Are you on medication?
No.
You're usually not the warm fuzzy guy, but you just made a Valentine.
Brad went all in.
That was.
No, I'm excited for him. Let him go.
I think that when I saw that, I'm glad to find out that we get to learn that they are engaged, as opposed to I presume that they just come out and be married.
No, they're gonna milk this for sure.
So I don't think that's fair to say, because
Yeah, it's fair.
did you get engaged, or did you just break it to the American public that you were married?
We milked it for about 3 months.
So are you judging them for doing it?
No,
You just want to see their Bed Bath & Beyond registry?
I don't want to see that. I can't afford that because it's probably really high-end mixers.
What do you get Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift for their wedding?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe like
Salt and pepper shakers?
something along those lines. Maybe like a foot massager, something that's like,
No, you don't get that for a
it's
wedding.
at the store, but it's not on their list.
You were so the guy who's like, I'll go to the store, but I'm not using the list of things that you picked out that you want. I think it's exciting to see that they got engaged. That is a natural step. There was a courtship. That was a natural step. I'm sure they remained celibate this whole time, out of respect to the other.
I'll put that on Twitter and see.
What are the betting odds that there's celibacy involved?
I'm writing it now.
Love stories are good, and how long is this going to last? This is not something that Taylor Swift has done before. Her relationships, this one has looked different than her other ones, so I'm for it. I am not mad at Taylor Swift. I'm not mad at Travis Kelce. I actually think the Kelce family has done wonders for American culture these are like two big, muscular football player white guys that America loves. And he gets the girl, Jason Kelce. I much more subscribe to the Jason Kelce of the Kelce brothers. I'm much more not attracted to, but like he's more my type of guy than Travis Kelce. But I watch their podcast from time to time. I watched the Taylor Swift Taylor Swift podcast live because I just happened to turn it on. It was going on in their New Heights podcast. And it just seems kind of endearing. Or whatever Brad said.
Just like you're into Jason Kelce more than Travis, I'm more less than
You
Taylor.
butchered it already.
I'm into Daphne Swift, the younger Swift sister.
There's not.
Well, then I've been duped.
This is shocking.
Because I love her music. It's kind of goofy. It's not very good.
Kylie Kelce is Jason Kelce's wife. She does their own podcast. She jumps on that New Heights podcast from time to time. They have, I think they're going on their fourth child. And they have, they've got stuff out there about raising a family and just more of that. The way that pop culture tends to take us for a ride, it used to be like if you were watching, I don't know, I never watched the Jersey Shore or any of those original Orange, was it Orange County? What was the OC?
Well, the OC was scripted.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be reality. I mean, it was supposed to be consumed like you were peeking behind the scenes of what it was like to live in Orange County. There's a voyeurism that exists there because you want to see how people live who don't live like you do. But it used to be the understood thing that, like, the way you live, the way us normies live is kind of a boring existence where you go to school, you maybe go to college, you meet the boy, you meet the girl, you get married, you have a family, 3.5 or 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, Midwestern lifestyle. Yawn. So you watch the OC and you see how like those people live. You see how the Jersey Shore people live. Which, by the way, I was on a boat with Snooki once. Actually, you guys were too.
Yeah, we were all.
You were there.
We were all there.
You were there with Hannah. I think it might be.
I had a dream once that I was in a boat and you were there.
And you were there. We're riding on this boat at Disney World, and Hannah. She almost jumped off the boat. She couldn't handle it. She's like, that's Snooki. Oh, my gosh. We were in the elevator because we were staying at the same hotel as they were. We were in the elevator with Snooki's husband.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And I made a joke about a banana being too phallic.
I don't think you were in the elevator with us.
No, I was.
I don't think you were.
I was.
Wasn't it just Hannah and me?
It was all of us. It was the husband and he had a stroller.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
Yeah, he was just being Disney dad out there, taking care of business. And Hannah was like, sweating like a crazy person. And he gets off and she's like, oh my gosh.
We didn't even know.
She like said his name and we're like, who's he?
Yeah. That's Todd Franklin.
And then later that night, we're on a boat. And she's like, she's on the boat. Hannah was so excited. But anyway, you look at those lives, people watch those shows because it's not what you know. You feel like you're peeking in on something. So you're interested in it. But we've gotten so mainstream with the abnormal becoming normal because everybody is in their own little reality show with their phones in their hands and their social media, TikToks, shorts, reels, whatever it is. You're documenting everything you do, so you're the star of your own reality show. That it's kind of interesting to look at even the prospect that maybe Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift will get together, have a nice life together, pop out some kids, and just be a nice little family. Like, when you say it that way, it seems so small. But that's what they've tried to make it be. And now it's on the abnormal side of the list, and people are interested in it again. So if it gets people into that or whatever Brad said.
This is a new eras for her.
You proud of yourself?
No.
X's and Y's next.
Wow, we've had a hot summer so far. Probably still got a little bit more heat coming in through the rest of August and September. Most likely, let you know, I am still here. If you guys looked up the wife looking through you at a fork, I am still here. She still loves the hell out of me because my air conditioner did not break this summer, and I did not need to call me to have it looked at or have it fixed. But if you do need your air conditioner fixed, we can get to you pretty quick. If you want a new one, somebody tells you need a new one, we can get to you really quick. Just call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. I almost forgot. bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Have you been notified that your subsidy for Obamacare health insurance is going away? Well, you can leave now while you are still healthy and can qualify for much better individual plans. Greg Hammonds at greghammonds.com has been helping people get affordable health insurance with great coverage for over 35 years. Greg offers private health insurance plans that are not on the ACA marketplace. You can pick your doctors. For most claims, you won't even pay a deductible, and they're 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. One more thing, there's no tax penalty at the end of the year. Greg even has plans that are guaranteed acceptance. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. He can custom design a plan by you, not the government.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
The president pushes back on Lisa Brady. Fox News after Illinois' Democratic governor told President Trump publicly not to come to Chicago as the president talks about expanding a D.C. crime crackdown with National Guard troops to other Democrat-led cities.
They're going to fight me like this slob of a governor you have in Illinois. This poor guy, such a bad governor. He should be calling me and he should be saying, could you send over the troops, please? It's out of control. It's out of control.
Fox's Mike Tobin in Chicago.
Chicago's Mayor Brandon Johnson wants to argue that violent crime is down in Chicago, and he is right. Murders, shootings, vehicle theft, all down around 30%, but down from a dramatic high. The homicide rate in Chicago is still triple to the rate in Los Angeles, quadruple New York.
The president also facing Democrat defiance over a threat to cut federal funds in areas that don't end no cash bail. The president also saying during a cabinet meeting he has someone in mind to replace Federal Reserve Board Governor Lisa Cook, who plans a legal fight over the president firing her. Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married. That's part of a Taylor Swift post jointly announcing her engagement with Kansas City Super Bowl champ Travis Kelce.
Clearly, the pop superstar has decided Travis Kelce is a lot more than Mr. Perfectly Fine. We don't know if Travis, in proposing, said, "You belong with me," or "It's a love story, baby, just say yes," or even "I want to be your endgame." We do know from Taylor's Instagram post that Kelce got down on one knee for the proposal, and we know there was no need for Taylor to say, "I'd marry you with paper rings." given that the engagement ring Travis popped on her finger is even more impressive than his 3 Super Bowl rings and likely a whole lot more expensive.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt, the president among those wishing them well. America is listening to Fox News.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZQL Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call Cordell & Cordell today, because your business is more than a job, it's your legacy.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
You have to ask yourself, is this really August in St. Louis? Another fantastic afternoon. Lots of sunshine, 77 for the high, very comfortable humidity levels. Tonight, clear skies, beautiful evening, 54 for the overnight low. Wednesday, sunny and 79. Thursday, partly sunny, just a tiny chance of a spot shower. 81 on Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Time to schedule your air conditioner service. Get not just your AC, but your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the preferred partner plan, and stay cool this summer. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ring.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
All right, Ryan, take it from here. It's all yours.
All right, let's talk about this statement from Marcus Lemonis, executive chairman from Bed Bath & Beyond.
What?
That's right. He says he won't do
You have my interest.
any more stores in California. You know why? Because California sucks.
California doesn't suck. California doesn't suck so much that it's lasted this long under oppressive, crazy, liberal, leftist rule that people are willing to stay because it's California. And then we moved to Illinois, and it's like, why are you still here? And I'm like, well, I guess it's just family, because that's why I'm still there.
It's bad for business. And they're going public with it and saying, look, Bed Bath & Beyond just cannot do business in California. They've gone through some financial turmoil anyway, but they're trying to reopen stores, and they're not going to do any out west. They said Bed Bath & Beyond will not compete because of higher taxes, higher fees, higher wages in California that many businesses simply cannot sustain, and the endless regulations that strangle growth.
Make you want to shop. I gave a Bed Bath & Beyond plug a little bit earlier in the show. I haven't
you
thought
did.
of Bed Bath & Beyond in it's been a while since I got married. That's probably the last time I thought about it.
Mm-hmm. So your Bed Bath & Beyond was Bed Bath & Limited.
Did you?
Thank you again. 2
Did
o'clock.
you? Are you done?
Yeah.
You were literally finger gunning.
Yeah.
Did you do a registry for your wedding?
Yes.
Did you have the most fun ever?
No, I hated that.
Were you the guy with the gun?
I was carrying, but I did not have.
You were not carrying. You never carried a day in your life. I'm talking about the scanner. You just walk around the store and go beep, 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 and you shoot all the things that you want other people to buy for you.
I was not, but I did try to use that thing from across the store, and it didn't work. Like, oh, there's an item way over there. Let's see if this
Did you
thing works.
participate?
Yeah, I was there the whole time.
Why'd you hate it?
Because it was boring and stupid, and it was getting stuff that I don't care about. I don't care about kitchen stuff. I care about trucks.
You don't care about trucks.
Swords.
What store were you going to?
Brass knuckles. That's what I wanted to go to, the brass knuckles store.
Okay, stop. I'm cutting you off. You just really thought it was boring?
Yeah.
I think most men find that to be exciting and entertaining and fun.
Most men are dumb.
Well, What else you got? I can't argue.
It was
that.
2007. I think
Yeah.
it was. I think we were still just getting into the world where you could do an online registry, because we did do one, but I can't remember if we did Amazon or not. And I know we did Target at the time. And
We got
Bed
married in
Bath & Beyond.
fall of 2007 as well, and there was no Amazon registry stuff on our radar.
But
It wasn't mainstream enough that
Right.
like you could do it and people
You
would
just did it.
understand the process. Target, Bed Bath & Beyond.
Those are the two we did.
Yeah.
It's two everybody did.
Brad, you guys do it?
Yeah, we did.
Were you the
I got
the gun
to have
guy?
I got to have the gun, and part of the
See,
fun.
do you hear how he says that? He got to have the gun.
Mm-hmm.
You said you were bored.
Part of the fun
I tried
was
shooting it from across the store. I
was to
told you
sneak in stuff that my wife would usually say no to.
I did try to register for a beard trimmer,
so
and my wife was like, "No."
I definitely registered for an Xbox 360.
Really?
Oh yeah, I put that on there.
You could do that at at Target, I guess.
Well,
It's
Target.
like
you
Bed
could-
Bath & Beyond didn't have an Xbox.
No, not Bed Bath & Beyond.
The wildest thing that we registered for in that regard was like a nice. It looked like books, but they were games. So it was like Monopoly, but the book set. Didn't do any Xboxing.
Also registered for tools as well.
Tools make sense.
Just hand tools and stuff like that. And I put I forget what a big TV at that time was, but I put one of those on there because it's a wish list.
A big TV?
Yes. Nobody bought it. Nobody felt obligated to buy it, but it's like, why not? Put it on there. Maybe somebody's feeling crazy.
You're going to get married soon. You're not going to need a TV, but you do need this hand crank that spins dough.
Ice cream maker.
Or whatever.
I think that the accessories to appliances that when you're that age, it's like my husband and I, we had all of that stuff because we didn't live together. So we were bringing our things together to live in a home. And everything you have is like inherited from grandma or grandpa or maybe a yard sale here or there if you picked it up to live in an apartment or whatever. So it's like to have all nice new things totally makes sense. But we only registered for things that we knew that we were going to need to buy anyway if we didn't get them, so that we would save. Our philosophy was, we'll save our. I don't want people buying me random fun things.
That's all I want.
And then of course it's what you want, but we knew that we would have to like have plates or something. So everything that we tried to register for was reasonable, and we tried to put things on the registry that would keep us from having to spend money afterwards. Do people still do registries? I guess they do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm supposed to go to a wedding
they
here in
definitely
a
do.
couple weeks.
We are in the wedding dry season of life, aren't we?
Yeah.
Where you
We're
get
in the
past-
everything. Now it's just like, I guess we start going to each other's funerals.
Don't say that.
Oh no.
We're in our early 40s, which means most of our friends are married, and we're not old enough to have kids and
Yeah,
kids'
if anything,
friends
we're
getting
second
married.
marriages.
Yeah, second marriages, third marriages.
It's not a race. Do you, if you're going to a wedding at this point in life, it's probably a family member or something like that. I have a great family friend who's getting married in a couple weeks. But I'm kind of a cash person. Go get a card, put cash in there. Isn't that what you want anyway?
Yeah, unless it's an Xbox. I mean, that'd be pretty
Yeah.
sweet. I did try to register. We had two rules for everything we registered for. Number one, is this going to make our house feel more like a home?
This is bullcrap. Whatever he's about to say is ridiculous.
Xbox, check.
And number two,
For you, but for your
does
wife?
this increase the bond of love
Oh, shut
between
up.
us?
Oh, shut up.
If it
You
didn't-
can't even say that with a straight face.
It's because it's a funny joke. Because
It is.
any of the things that we registered for, I would ask those two questions. Does this do one of those two things?
No wonder
And if it didn't,
you hated
I
it.
said then throw it in the trash right now.
Mrs. Future Wiggins was like, shut up.
Yeah, because she didn't want to throw all those items in the trash in the store, which I agree was kind of ridiculous. But we did it.
People are commenting on the Xbox, and they're not judging you just for putting the Xbox on there. They're judging you because it should have been a PlayStation.
Well, PlayStation didn't have Halo, so I don't want to hear it.
How does that bring your marriage
Dunk.
together?
He just
Does
dunked on the whole comment
Does Mrs.
section.
Range play Halo with you? No.
She did.
He had to
Yeah,
think about
and
it.
then she played.
I think he's saying she did once.
Yeah, she played Lego Batman and those games with us more often.
Was there anything that you guys did early in your marriage that now you're like, that would never happen?
Oh, gosh.
Because we had a few of those.
It's just like, having like general time-wasting fun.
Yeah.
What the heck is that?
That's one of them.
Like you just sit and be in the same place at the same time, but you just sit there.
Let's watch an entire season on DVD of anything.
Yes.
We did that.
Watch a bad movie. Doesn't matter. Let's just watch another one.
Who cares? We would watch that. At the time, my wife was like, you know what I would like to do is engage in an activity with you that I feel like is solely something that you would like that I would not really try. That never happens now.
It's because you have time to go back and forth. You have the ability to spend some time, engaging in an activity that maybe one of you likes because there's time for the engaging in the activity that the other person likes. And then, at least in the phase of life that I'm in right now, there's no time. There's just, it doesn't exist.
She said at that time, I would like to try to watch the entire series of the original Star Trek with you. And that's
TV?
The original TV series.
So not the movies.
No.
They probably weren't half of them out.
And we started, and she enjoyed it, but we didn't finish. And we still have not finished. And I bring it up pretty often that she did not fulfill her promise from 2007.
And she probably says, guess I didn't.
She has to agree because she remembers, and I make her remember.
Is it going, what do you think about, Ryan, you've got 3 kids. The oldest are 11?
Yeah.
My oldest is 15. My youngest is 4. Your oldest is 11. Your youngest is 9?
Yep. No, 8.
8? Do you think about time with your wife after kids?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about it because the nice thing is I think it was 7 years we were married before we had kids. So we had
you had a lot of
time to get to know each other and enjoy hanging out with each other.
Jared and I had 2 years.
And so that gives me comfort to know that, oh, well, it's not as if we never tried to just be a couple because we did for a long time. But things are so different now. Looking back at who we were even then compared to where we will be in 10 years when our oldest is 18, I just don't know what that's like. I mean, there are people listening right now that know exactly what that's like, but I do not know what that's like.
I'd be very interested if you're listening right now and you are in that position to tell us what it's like to not. You can't really explain the chaos. If, I posted on our Facebook page last night. Did you see the picture I posted? Molly drew a picture of me.
Yeah, it was funny.
On what is that called? Not an Etch-a-Sketch. Whatever the new kind
I
is.
know what you're talking about.
It's just
like those magnetic draw things.
I'm thinking Labradoodle, but that's not it. It's something doodle or something. But she drew a picture of me, and she was so proud of it. And it's just a ridiculous picture. But she was so happy. Mommy, I drew you. She took the time to draw me. That meant something for her to do that to me. And, while that's going on, we got 2 dogs that are barking at the television and 2 kids who are doing homework. Another one is trying to clean up the family room so that they can play a game for a little bit before they go to bed. Jared's cooking in the kitchen. And it's just, there is such a frenetic energy to that it gets super loud and everybody's bouncing in their own direction. And every once in a while I think, like when I get to the point where I'm like, I don't know. You kind of develop this ability to go mentally like tune it out. There's just noise, and you're not really locked into it because there's really no other way to handle it all the time. If I sit down on the couch, I have kids crawling on me, I have dogs crawling on me. It's just like it's just the way it is, 24/7. And I always, if it ever gets to the point where I'm thinking like, ugh, I just think to myself, one day it will just be gone. Mm-hmm. And when it's gone, will I be like, I miss it or I appreciate it and I've moved past it? Because I don't miss the pumpkin seat car seat. I don't miss the diaper bag. I don't miss the diapers. I don't miss all that stuff that's behind me now. And I thought that I would. Now I see other little babies and I think simultaneously about how adorable they are. I think about my children when they were that little, and I think about how tiring it was. Like I look back on that time and think that was tough. That was a challenge. Totally worth it. Don't regret a single second of it. But I look back on it and was like, I'm kind of like, woof. So do you get to the point where your kids leave the house? I mean, I don't know what Jared and I will do with ourselves.
I just pulled up a comment from Facebook, actually.
Lenny.
Lenny says, empty nesting is so much fun again. No kids is awesome.
I'm looking at you, Lenny. I mean, initially my husband and I had said we wanted to have children young so we could be young retirees. We're like, we're not going to have money. You never really have enough money to have kids. It's not like, maybe Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce finally felt like maybe we can afford this.
I think we're at that point.
Yeah,
now.
maybe we should make a commitment. It was our thought that we would never be in a position where we were just going to be, obnoxiously wealthy and we can afford to have children now. We didn't want that to hold us back, and we knew we wanted to have multiple kids. I don't know that I really thought I'd have 4 kids. But I had my son when I was 25 years old. So that's pretty young to be having a kid. Like today I look at that and I'm like, holy, was that a good idea? That was really young. So I think about that and he's 11 years older, 11 and a half, 12 years older than Molly. Molly's 4. So in 14 years, theoretically, she could be moved up and moved out. I'd be 55 and an empty nester. And like, to me, part of me thinks like, if I had another kid, that still wouldn't be outrageous. And I don't want to have another kid. I don't physically want to go through that process. But it seems like there's a part of me that is kind of anticipating it with some excitement for a new thing. But then I also have mom guilt about that. I don't know if men would do that, but I like the mom guilt of thinking on the other side of what I have right now.
Yeah, speaking of X's and Y's and the differences between men and women.
There. Are you like, get these kids out of my house?
No, I there was a time that I was, when they were little, I was like, oh, man.
You started with twins.
It was so hard, and I was looking forward to the day when, well, actually, I was looking forward to this day when everybody's a little more independent. We're here. I'm enjoying it now. I really love it. But at that time, I didn't, and I think that mom guilt is a real thing, that dad guilt is probably a little bit different. It's not that it's non-existent, but it is not the same.
Oh, it certainly is not the same. That's for certain. If you have questions that you want us to include when we ask each other across the sexes about boys and girls, we're going to do that in 12 minutes from now. But first, Ethan's Sports and Local segment coming up next. Don't go away.
Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan, 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Stewie is a trustworthy guy. He understands the ebbs and flows of the market. He's paying attention to it more than anybody I know. That's a legit statement. And if you are thinking you're in the market for a refinance, like if you know you're in the market for a new mortgage, you pretty much know that. And you're probably asking yourself, gosh, I really want to time this right. I don't want to screw this up and get in a little too early or get in a little too late. Reach out to Stewie and tell him what your situation is. And he can help you understand why now might be the right time to do the thing, or maybe you want to wait a little bit. All you got to do is call him at 314-324-4440, or you can text him at 314-324-4440. Stewie's going to help you with the bagel loan, and the bagel loan comes with $0 in closing costs. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need, while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews, and Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property with forestry mulching. If invasive plants and trees have overtaken your land, Missouri Brush Control will mulch vegetation where it stands with specialized equipment that is efficient and eco-friendly. Selective land clearing like this can help you maximize your property's value. Enjoy your land like you've always dreamed of. Check out our website or Facebook page for before and after photos and videos of our projects. Learn more at MissouriBrushControl.com. That's MissouriBrushControl.com.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
With conviction and clarity, The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hold up. Check it out.
Sports and local.
Listen as Ethan shares stories with deep biblical allegory.
Yep.
Really?
So you got to really read into these.
Man, you are flirting with blasphemy here.
Setting you up for biblical allegory is great. That's how you read like the story that's written on your heart into every story. Right, Ethan?
Every good joke requires a 5-minute explanation.
Sure.
It's the story from creation.
Well,
and it applies to everything we do.
Why were you so emotional about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, Ethan?
Yeah, why?
You were sobbing.
Ryan, you tell me why. Why was I?
What is this?
Ping
I
pong?
don't know.
Right before I was asked that question, I was about to suggest that perhaps Ryan can try and find that deep Christian allegory, biblical allegory within each of these stories.
Yeah, that's a good
that
idea.
I am trying to explain.
I tried
so
to
I just figured that
Clean
you
slate the whole
can answer that as
conversation.
well.
Well, I would read the Song of Solomon on the air, but I think we'd get FCC.
Sports and local. Ethan, what happened? Anything in baseball yesterday? Nope. Totally calm and collected.
Yeah, just your boring Monday night game at Busch Stadium between the Cardinals and the Pirates put
All
me to
eyes.
sleep. Psych! It was a really...
You tricked me!
I gotcha.
Oh, it's so difficult.
Trying the biblical under...
Stop it!
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm trying very hard.
Sorry. Okay, so last night, everything about this Cardinals game going in, you would have said, well, this is depressing, disappointing. 17,700 something
65,
fans
I think.
in attendance last night. The smallest crowd in Busch Stadium 3 history, excluding COVID games. The smallest crowd to play at Busch Stadium since 1997.
The
Things
90s.
Things are great. Things are great at the ballpark these days. So it's Monday night,
You know
crowds
what really sucks? The Cardinals were supposed to be really good in the 20s. Again.
They were?
They were good in the 1920s. They were supposed to be good in, they should have been good again.
So we're going to be
We're
good
almost
again
over.
in the 1960s and the 80s.
don't
I'm sorry,
know if
the
we'll find out.
2060s and the 2080s. That's what we're looking forward to.
Did you watch the game last night, Ryan? Did you see
No, I saw the clips, though.
What, Ethan?
So last night's game, quiet until it wasn't. It actually was a really good game. Cardinals ended up winning on an Alec Burleson walk-off home run, 7-6 the final score, but that was not the biggest takeaway from the game. In the, I believe it was the 7th inning, Wilson Contreras struck out looking when he disagreed with the strike call, or perhaps he didn't even disagree with the strike call. He actually, when he was walking back towards the dugout, turned towards the home plate umpire, Derek Thomas, and
Don't say what he said.
Said something along the lines of,
You meanie.
call it both ways. Something like that. Thomas, relatively...
Can't we just be gentlemen and call it both ways?
You have to use the thys and thous.
Thomas, a relatively younger umpire,
I would get thy eyes checked.
ends up ejecting Wilson Contreras.
Does thou wear
and
glasses?
Contreras, very confused as to why he was ejected, ends up blowing a fuse.
Yeah, you
And
could say that. He threw high shoes all over the place, which I suggest that maybe Burleson's home run came from him being an all-around good guy and helping the Bat Boys and Stubby Clapp pick up the high shoes that Contreras strewn about the first base line.
Is that what those were?
High chews.
Those were Haichu candies?
Oh, you're mad now.
Now
You
I'm
disrespected
mad.
the candy.
What did you do to the Haichus? They didn't do anything to you.
Sorry, Ethan, go ahead.
for those that didn't see it, Contreras absolutely lost it. He's everything and back towards the dugout. He tosses his bat back away from him in the direction of the umpire. It hits Cardinal hitting coach Brand. Real quick, I'll give kudos
A
to
moment of silence,
to
Ryan.
Chip Carey and Brad Thompson because they covered this perfectly, saying we don't know who did it. they never came out and said, "Hey, Contreras throws a bucket of high chew onto the field." They said, And a bucket of high chew has also made its way onto the field.
You know, I think we need to ban high chews because they're dangerous to people who are in their path. And the high chews might have just done that themselves. And if we wouldn't have had a bucket of high chews in the dugout, this never would have happened.
That's a good point.
Maybe the
like
high
it.
chew
High
budget.
chew control.
What was your question, Ryan?
Well, I think that I answered this question by watching the video just now because I had missed that part of it. But that were the high
He's
chews
intrigued by the candy.
were the high
Everyone's looking at
Yep,
it
there
today.
it is right there. And let's pause and focus in on the high chew bucket. Now that bucket is not made for any candy. It says on the bucket that it's for high chew.
Yeah, I think we've uncovered something important here.
I do too.
Investigative reporting on the Annie Fry Show.
All right, you get time for one more story because we got to talk about boys and girls next, just to clear some things up.
Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and let's do this one. NASCAR is returning here pretty shortly to St. Louis at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. Less than just a couple weeks away, right, Brad?
It's actually the weekend after next.
Labor Day.
So that would
no,
be that.
This is Labor Day weekend.
September 13th. Right? No, that's next year.
No,
So
it's
it's returning. Hold on.
We want to be first in on this news story.
Hold on.
For next year's race.
Slow down. Slow down, people. It is going to be
talking about racing, aren't we? Just
coming
doing really
up
fast.
in 2 weekends. But the story is that it was recently just announced that it was going to be coming back next year around the same time of the year, and that one will be on September 13th.
Is that a big deal?
It
playoff
shows
races.
yeah, they're playoff races, so they're important. But it also shows that NASCAR is continuing to do well in this market, which
Ryan,
is
why
great.
don't you go there and cover the event for the Annie Fry Show?
Was there high chew?
Yes.
Are you lying?
No.
I actually would prefer if
You seem like you're lying, though.
would
I'm
actu-
not going to that.
You're the second person on this show today to accuse me of being a liar.
And then the first person
And
was right.
One of you is correct.
I'd actually prefer if Brad went and covered it.
He is going to cover it.
Going to cover it.
Can you bring me back stuff from the green room?
No.
Only if there's high chews.
I don't care what it is, really, if it's free.
Brad, what is
bring
the
you a handful of like shrimp shells or something?
Brad, if there's one
That
thing
is so weird.
you get to do while covering the Enjoy Illinois 300, what is it?
Ooh, I'd like to interview Ryan Blaney.
Ryan Wiggins.
Alrighty. There it is, Ryan
All
Blaney.
right. That's what I was going to
I
say.
think it's a great choice.
Yeah, me too. Ryan Blaney.
X's and Y's with Trisha in studio next. Your questions about boys and girls. What do you want to know? Hit us up on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Leave us a comment. Maybe feature it next segment. Don't go away.
I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. I'm coming now, follow my lead. Coming now, follow my lead.
IGotFloor.com. That's the website. Have you shopped for flooring recently? Have you meandered when you went to buy like a 2x4 from the store and you're like, oh, let's go look at the flooring and see what they got? Michael's Flooring Outlet, that's what they do. Experts at flooring. You go to IGotFloor.com. You can see all the different types of products they carry. If you know kind of what you're looking for, you're going to want to go online and request an estimate from them. They'll even come to your house so you can get a very, very good estimate as to what you might be looking at as far as an investment. They care about making sure that they give you value, of course, with these high-quality products. If you were thinking about putting in something that resembles hardwood and you've been considering the Revwood Select and Plus lines, that Revwood Select comes with a 10-year waterproof warranty. The lifetime all-pet warranty comes along with that as well. You can get great flooring products that are going to stand the test of time. That makes your investment more valuable, doesn't it? They've got 3 locations across the St. Louis region, and you can find them online at IGotFloored.com.
Hey friends, I'm Sharon McMahon, host of Here's Where It Gets Interesting. Each week, I speak with authors, experts, and thought leaders on everything from American history and democracy to how to be a better person on the internet. And don't miss my extremely popular docuseries, which educate you on things you never learned in history class. Follow and listen to Here's Where It Gets Interesting on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The YouTube live chat poll is, should President Trump wait to be asked to send in the National Guard to restore law and order in American cities? It's a big question, and I would like to see how this turns out because it's we took calls in the 12 o'clock hour.
You're in the right place, Ryan.
And you were split on the subject, you being the listeners. So let us know what you think personally, yes or no. It's the YouTube live chat poll. I'm taking this seriously, and everybody's goofing. 2:32. The time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Born in the Midwest, built on common sense. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Tastes like strawberries on a summer evening. And it sounds
Welcome
like
back to the Annie Fry Show. You want to tease up that poll question again, real quick here?
Should President Trump...
Okay, that's enough. We've had enough. YouTube live chat poll. You can go vote. We'll give you those results here in a second. Let's get to X's and Y's. Trisha's in studio with us. X's and Y's with Trisha. Hi, Trisha.
Hey, Trisha.
Hi,
Trisha.
Annie.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
It's a fun segment.
X's and Y's.
All right, I'm going first. What do you guys think it's like to have a baby?
Trisha, you go first.
Nope, Trisha knows. Trisha and I have had babies.
I'll help confirm or
yes.
deny.
I want Ryan, tell me what you think as a man it's truly like to physically, not the 9 months of carrying it, the delivery process, the like day of action. What do you think it's like, and do you think women exaggerate the pain?
Well, once you get
You
what's
get
that
one
called?
A
thing in your spine. What's that called?
An epidural.
Epidural.
Did you get an epidural, Trisha?
I did.
Yeah, I asked for two.
Such a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying not to be graphic here, but it's about childbirth. I would think that it was like trying to push a child out of your wiener, and therefore painful.
Even all numbed up.
Even if you like gave that wiener a bunch of shots. You know what though? I just said it comes from your spine.
We're
so
talking about things that aren't illegal, but this was a while ago that aren't illegal but should be. You using the word wiener is one of them.
I don't think so.
Do you okay, so you had twins. She didn't have
I
any
didn't personally have them.
Well, you participated. Was there were no C-sections?
No.
Correct?
No.
And did she have any epidurals?
She did, but it only worked on her left side.
Half I've heard of that.
Ooh.
What kind of sentiment did you have, like when you're there at the hospital and this is going down and you're watching your wife, who you've known for how many years before that moment?
10.
Did it change you at all to see her do what she did?
Well, yes, but I was there. I kid you not, to be helpful. But I was so naive as to what helpful was that I probably did nothing. I'm like, here we are. I'm like dressed in camo and wearing a backpack.
Go, I'm going in.
Here we go. I'm ready.
Was it like, what did you do? Were the nurses and everything? Because the nurses are everything, right, Trisha? You go,
oh
like,
my gosh,
it's nurse, doctor, baby. That's the way that goes. What did you do then, Ryan, while all of this was going on? You were there, like, trying to be helpful. How did you approach that in the delivery room?
I thought that I should be present with whatever was happening. And I realized that that was nice, but I'm not sure that I did anything. But I think just giving her the psychological peace of mind that I was there to be helpful was probably more than anything I could have actually done.
So that was your headspace. But what did you think about your wife after she went through the process, especially with twins?
I don't know. I still don't know. I have no clue what a woman is going through bringing life into the world.
No, my question to you is, how did you feel about her? Like, did watching her do that physical thing change at all the way you saw your wife?
No, because the babies changed the way our relationship worked, but it didn't make me think of her as more of a trooper or something.
Really?
No.
It didn't add like a level of respect or...
No, that happened.
he probably
on
disrespected
that
her.
happened on the third baby when she decided I'm not going to have any medication at all and I'm going to wait till just natural birth. And that baby was 10 pounds.
Mm-hmm. I mean, respect.
That's
but
respect.
still
Before that,
think-
no respect.
I was going to say, I've had 7-pound babies. I've had 8-pound babies. I have a 9-pound babies, and I had a 9-pound 15 baby. And it was difficult each time. It was a challenge.
I mean, even with an epidural, it's not easy. It's not like you're like, oh, this is easy now. Like, it just happens. Like, it's a lot of work.
You do hear about women who have babies, like, oh, I was like getting ready to go to the hospital, and I put on my shirt, and then I had a baby, and then we got to the hospital.
That's
No
a summation
respect.
of it.
No
That's
respect
not
for
really
that.
how that goes down.
That's basically
Trisha,
easy.
after you went through that, did you watch your husband be there for you through that thing? Like, did you see him differently at all in the way that he tended to you, or did he tend, or
he
whatever?
Stepped up like nobody's business, and I have nothing but love and respect for my husband. He almost passed out when I was giving birth, and every single nurse that walked in was like, is he okay? Like, I'm actively pushing,
like,
and
"I'm
he is
okay."
on the floor, like head in his hands, ghost white. Like,
is this like after the delivery?
While it's happening.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
while it's happening, he is like in a corner, like, ah, and everybody's like, he good? I'm like, I'm having a baby.
Who cares about him? Let him crash into the
Yeah.
floor. No, I mean, I think that there's interesting thing. Like, I remember watching specifically with Jared, with Charlie. I've told this story before, but I was always a terrible pregnant person. I was always sick, miserably sick, didn't like being pregnant at all whatsoever. And with Charlie, my first, I wanted to know what I was having. I needed to create a more personal connection with this thing that was inhabiting my body and making me feel miserable. So I wanted to know if I was having a boy or a girl. Jared was adamant about not finding out. And so I said to him, well, I would like to go to the ultrasound, and I would like to know, and I won't tell you. And that was at about 18 weeks in, 19 weeks in. And he was like, okay, that's fine. Just don't tell me. So I knew the whole time that I was having a boy, and he didn't.
He didn't find out till the end?
Charlie came out and had a wee-wee. Sorry, Charlie. That's all we'll say about
the
that.
word of the segment.
Yeah, and so
I had no idea Charlie did that.
Charlie was born and was a boy, and I did think to myself, like, what if they got it wrong and he's a girl? And I'm like, that's not right. But it was kind of crazy to be delivering my husband's son, knowing that he was about to have a firstborn son, and Jared didn't know it. So it was like I actually was able to kind of, in the midst of all of the things, watch Jared have that experience in a different way than I would have if we would both found it out at the same time.
That's pretty cool.
I was really glad about it.
Mm-hmm.
But Jared was very much like, he was observant. He was by my side, and he didn't interject himself into anything. He was really just there for me, and it was very sweet the way he would. He just wanted me to be okay. Like through the whole thing, he just wanted it to get to the point where we were okay. And I think it's for women. Obviously, I don't need to sit here and advocate for like how strong women have to be to labor babies, but I think that it's probably pretty intimidating for a man to look at the person who you love the most, bearing the person who you haven't even realized how much you could love someone the most, and know that both of these things are kind of hanging in the balance here, and you are completely helpless. I find it interesting that in what I consider to be one of the most powerful moments that can occur in life, the strongest gender among us is in their weakest moment. There's nothing that they can do. And then it gets through, and then your job starts. I don't know. I don't know if that's too broad of a statement, but
Everybody tells you, oh, when you have this baby, you're going to have all these moments and all these things that you're supposed to feel. And I hated that because I was like, I don't feel any of those things. I don't care about you telling me the way I should feel. I don't even want to think about the way you think I should be feeling. I just want to do this because it is overwhelming and I don't know what's going on. And then later you get to look back and go, oh, this is what I felt in the moment. But in that moment, you don't know what the heck you're doing.
no, you don't know anything. And I remember, like, I didn't want to see any of it. I don't know what it looks like. I was there every time. Don't know. They get you all set up. They're like, would you like a mirror? I'm like, you get that mirror out of here.
know.
I don't want any mirrors in here. You get them out of the bathroom. Take them off the wall. Get them out. Not interested.
I think we had to watch it in health class in high school or something.
Yeah,
That
I
was
saw it
the
one time.
Only time
You
I
go
will
to-
ever see that.
Did you go to a birthing class?
No.
Well, I went to one. I delivered at Anderson Hospital, and they had this circle up on the wall, and they're like, that circle's 10 centimeters. I'm like, the hell?
No.
Oh, what? Anyway.
I offered to eat the placenta, but
Ryan! God
What
dang
the-
it.
it's what the man's supposed to do.
No.
It's what I was told.
No wonder you didn't have any of those feelings. You had other
was
nauseating
full.
feelings. Oh.
It's full.
Ryan, ask a question. Change the subject.
How do women feel about men who wear toupees?
I feel solidly indifferent. To each their own.
Is a toupee something that's like, do you sleep with a toupee on?
No idea.
What do you do with yours?
I just wear this Rockies hat.
It's a toupee underneath there.
To bed.
No, I don't care. If a man wants to wear hair or whatever, I mean, I would think that a lot of those things are a little bit more permanent now. Women get hair extensions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had hair extensions, but I was just reading. Do you know much about them? Have you ever had hair extensions?
No.
I was reading that you put them in for like 6 months. Is that right?
I think that they last a long time. Yeah. You pay a lot of money and they
Yeah.
stick around.
I mean, if women can get hair extensions, I don't know why a man can't.
Well, and didn't John Cena just come out and say he's had a hair transplant? It looks really good.
Every major celebrity male has had a hair transplant.
Google John Cena hair transplant, and he's like very open about it. It looks super natural. I don't know how many people are wearing toupees anymore.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of making a comeback.
Oh, is that right?
I've seen them on social media a lot more, and it's like they put this huge amount of glue on top of your head and squish it down. And but when they're done, it looks like
it looks natural.
It looks real.
Let me ask you another question about rugs. Why do women like rugs? Like just floor
Can you
rugs?
be specific on the floor?
Yes.
Makes it more homey. Makes your
Nice
feet
little
warmer.
Decorative pop.
Same question about pillows.
Or you
and
just want to do the rest?
crap like that.
Why do we like nice things?
Why do you like? Is it just that it's? Yeah. What is it about rugs? I don't get it. They're
They
just
make
decorative.
your floor softer and your home look a little bit nicer. Yeah.
But they are a source of constant interest to my wife.
Yeah, I can
She
see
is
that.
always like, "Ooh,
She
what
has
if we
good
put a
taste.
rug here?" I'm like, I don't care.
Was she talking about your head?
No. Wait, maybe. Now that you say that,
I think we've gotten to the bottom of this based on your subliminally inferred first question there. Trisha, do you have a question?
Sure. Okay. So, men, before you go to any event or like work or anything like prior, do you ever think about your outfit or your general appearance? Like, you're coming into fall season. Do you like have in mind like, oh, this is kind of my wardrobe for that season? Or do you think about your like clothing appearance at all?
Appearance, no. But I do think about like clothing because I'm like, oh, I'm coming into fall season. Time to put a jacket on because it's like 2 degrees outside or whatever.
yeah, but it's mostly practical.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
not
that's function, not fashion.
There's not a lot of thought to fashion. You know what's funny? This is a stupid story, but I'm going to tell you anyway. When I first started working here, I was like, I'm going to reinvent myself.
Okay, this is what I'm talking about.
Go on.
Yes, please do tell.
I'm going to be one of those
How long
guys
did that last?
who dresses nice
Mm-hmm.
and is very well shaven and so forth. And I'm gonna wear a collar a lot.
This is exactly my question.
And I thought this is like a new start here, 2018 when I started here. And I did that for long enough until I had a full-time job. And then I was like, why am I doing this?
Did you
cares?
catfished us? Like
Kinda.
you came in and you were like,
Did
this
COVID
is
have
me.
anything to
Kinda.
do with that? Because everybody stopped caring during
No,
COVID.
because I had stopped in 2019.
You gave up before COVID.
Yeah.
That's great.
I remember whenever I first got hired here, I asked Trisha, what is the attire? What are we supposed to wear? And she's like, 97.1, we all have neck tattoos.
What did I say that?
Yes.
my normal response is pajamas. But
Brad, you got a question?
Yeah. So what is it? What is the appeal of the bad boy to girls? Just like I know that there's something there. You look at like the fascination with different books and all this other stuff. The quote unquote bad boy. What is the appeal or the fascination with that?
I think it's a younger person thing. At least it was for me. The same way like any kind of risk taking is. Like roller coasters a little bit risky and tattoos and
If you saw a guy with a
booze and-
mohawk getting on the Screaming Eagle,
Let's
you
go
were
back.
like,
Let's go back to the neck tattoo.
Yeah,
Ooh.
13-year-old me is like, whoa, that guy is a little bit risky. I want to talk to him. I don't know. I think it's just like
I've been married for 18 years.
It's like an adrenaline thing. That is not what you want the older you get.
True? You didn't answer.
No, this question has been asked before, but I've always said that women want to be a reason a guy would be good.
Mm-hmm. like changing somebody.
Yeah, that's what all the stupid rom-com movies and high school love stories are about. Like, oh, I want to be a better person for you. I don't think it's more complicated than that.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't usually
You have to
work out.
invest yourself into somebody to do that, though.
As a female or a male?
As a female.
Well, females do that.
But females don't do that to every bad boy, or else every boy would be a bad boy. They'd all present as bad.
It's not really how it works.
I didn't follow that logic at all.
No.
Usually
that's how
at
it
that age, girls are like, yeah, we're all in. And guys are like, cool for 5 minutes.
Usually the girl is a friend with a guy who makes bad decisions. And the girl wants the guy to make good decisions. And if he starts making good decisions because you influenced him to do that, then that means you mean something to him.
Ooh.
Most girls just want to be cared for.
Now you tell me.
You just said, I had kids and I didn't feel anything.
I didn't. I look back and I'm like, what the heck was going on?
Oh, man, you had twins. Babies are hard.
It didn't
You've
really
talked
hit
about that
until
too,
the third
Trisha.
one.
Like
Yeah.
that stage of babies is like, oh my gosh, this is for real. But then they grow up and they become your buddies. You know, that's one cool thing about where we are in my life right now. When I think about the diaper bags and the diapers and all that stuff, the pumpkin seats that we don't have to lug around. My oldest two are like sociable human beings that I get to hang out with. Yes, they're not my friends. They are my children. But my 9-year-old is getting to that point too. And Molly at 4 has the most personality I've ever met in anybody. So it's like you get to interact with these people as opposed to just be 100% responsible for keeping them from doing something violently terrible to themselves. So the passage of time is an okay thing. All right, let's get the results of the poll. Should President Trump wait to be asked to send in the National Guard to restore law and order in American cities? Yes or no? Go vote. We'll be right back.
Tastes like strawberries on a summer evening, and it sounds just like a song. I want your belly and that summer feeling. I don't know if I could ever go without watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar.
So Ruler Foods is where we shop as a family to save on our groceries. It's where we go to stock up on produce so we can make sure we're filling our pantry, our fruit bowl, our produce bowl that we have on the counter, our drawer in the refrigerator with healthy foods. We want to make sure that we can keep those types of healthy foods in our home so our kids can have them and eat them whenever they're hungry. That's just kind of the rule. If it's something that grew out of the ground or off of a tree and it's healthy for you, you can eat it. You don't have to ask. Ruler Foods makes it easier to do that because they have great prices on these types of products, especially strawberries right now. You can get a 1-pound container of strawberries for $1.88. You can always save on produce. They have great stuff for salads. Right now, you can get a 3-pound Kroger deli salad for just $4.99, which is perfect for sharing. A whole lot of different things. And if you go onto their website at rulerfoods.com, you can get a $10 off $60 delivery purchase when you use the promo code SUPERSAVER. That's SUPERSAVER when you go online. Save $10 on a $60 delivery order. Have those savings shipped directly to your door. rulerfoods.com.
Mark Reardon isn't here to echo talking points. He challenges them. Smart, fast, and always original. The Mark Reardon Show. Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Live local, and conservative. It's the Annie Fry Show. 97.1 FM Talk.
Serious question, but I have to tell you the biggest pop culture news of the year broke while we were in this cabinet meeting. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are engaged, and the world wants your reaction, sir.
Well, I wish him a lot of luck.
Oh.
No, I think he's a great player. I think he's a great guy, and I think that she's a terrific person. So I wish them a lot of luck.
President Trump, Travis Kelce is a great player, and Taylor Swift is a terrific person. And 2 of those 3 people I just mentioned are engaged.
I wondered where that news came from. I didn't know that they were in the press conference when that happened because I thought
When
maybe
what?
they put out a statement. Well, I saw the news that Trump had said that,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize that it
Cabinet.
just was popped on him at that moment. Like an engagement question.
What an interesting response from him.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was just a simple, kind response, and that was it.
I wish him luck.
I think this goes back to what Brad was saying. I think the world is mending.
Let's hope so.
We are the world.
Mhm. It's just like the 80s.
We are the people. Is it a big it's a big story today, of course, if you haven't heard yet. I don't know how you would have avoided it. Travis Kelce and Ethan is back.
And Ethan's back
Travis
because we said
Kelce
the word.
and Taylor Swift, I summoned him, are engaged. I actually kind of think it is culturally relevant that President Trump was asked that question and answered it in a chill way. Donald Trump, I mean, Taylor Swift very aggressively has endorsed against Donald Trump. I don't know that she's ever come out and said anything directly about Donald Trump being terrible, but she's alluded to it plenty of times. Travis Kelce was like Mr. Pfizer, so he got a lot of hate for that. But I will say this. Travis Kelce's not the only person who was duped on Pfizer.
Yeah.
So I think it's worthy of note that the president was asked that question and that he gave a non-obnoxious answer to it. Do you agree?
Yeah, it is partially because he's in the position to be able to not care. You know, he doesn't have to fight against the endorsement or non-endorsement anymore. He's in the seat.
He could easily say, like, I'm saving the streets of New York or of Washington, D.C., and we're bringing inflation down and people are getting jobs, and you're asking me about Taylor Swift. Like, he could say stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
And he didn't.
Yep.
So I think, I don't know. I find that interesting and endearing, honestly. Smart of him to not, like, fire up the Swifties against him. I don't know that the Swifties are really his strong base.
It gives a good headline for him. I'll say that.
YouTube live chat poll. Ethan, real quick when we go around the room, should Trump wait to be asked to send the National Guard to restore law and order in American cities? I think he should. I don't know. I think I would have said yes, he should have waited. I changed my mind. Send it in and make it happen. Real quick, should he wait, yes or no?
I'm going to say no, I guess.
No, don't wait. Go help the people.
Ethan, you want to hit us with the results real quick?
251 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll. Should Trump wait to be asked to send the National Guard to restore law and order in American cities? 59% say no, 41% say yes.
All right, pretty close. Now let's wait and see what he does. Maybe St. Louis has a little safety in store. Thanks for listening to The Mark Reardon Show. Next.
So beat the drum with me. I'm not America's sweetheart.
Home Shield Foundation Repair, 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636. Matt Hayes, the owner of Home Shield Foundation Repair, is incredibly experienced, and he has the best staff in the game. So you've got uneven concrete. You've got, it's become a safety hazard. When you have them come to your house to check it out, to your place of business to check it out, they're going to look at it. They're going to inspect the area. They need to determine the property repair that is needed before they can give you their solution, which I think is good because you both know going into an agreement on a project what you're getting yourself into. They'll use polyjacking. It's a system where they take polyurethane foam inject it under the concrete, raise it up, and level it out. So when you work with Home Shield Foundation Repair, you can have a cost-effective way to handle this uneven concrete, the sunken concrete that's become an eyesore and a safety hazard. Call them at 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce